Chapter 778. Senior He Xian, Qi Lian, and Savage Beast, don't hold back anymore. Kill them with all your might. Mo Qingyun instructed He Xian and the other two with a cold expression on his face when he saw Ling Zhuo and the others were trying to escape. All right. When He Xian and the other two heard Mo Qingyun's words, their expressions turned even colder. Their attacks became even fiercer. He Xian took a step forward and chased after Ling Zhuo and the others. In just a few flashes, he caught up with them. Dark prison sky, splitting spear. After blocking Ling Zhuo and the others' escape route, He Xian raised his right hand and clenched it tightly. Origin energy quickly condensed on his fist to form a long spear. When the origin energy on He Xian's fist condensed into a long spear, the divine ability elemental elephant above him also condensed an origin energy long spear at an extremely fast speed. As soon as the Yuan Qi spear was formed, He Xian ruthlessly threw it towards Ling Zhuo and the others. It smashed towards Ling Zhuo and the others with a destructive force. So powerful. When Ling Zhuo and the others saw the origin energy long spear flying toward them at an extremely fast speed, their faces twitched and turned pale. However, before Ling Zhuo and the others could turn around and escape, the origin energy long spear slammed into them and exploded violently. Bang! A loud explosion sounded from the origin energy long spear. A dazzling light wave burst out from it and blasted a hole in the space. Subsequently, the hole that was blasted open by the origin energy light wave swallowed Ling Zhuo and the others like a whirlwind. When Han Luo and the others in the Tianyin mansion saw this scene, their faces began to twitch. So terrifying. Senior He Xian is really too powerful. Even an expert with advanced divine ability wouldn't be able to unleash such a terrifying attack. We have to raise our cultivation base quickly. Otherwise, we'll forever be a burden to the young lord. After seeing He Xian make a move, Han Luo and the others were shocked and made up their minds. Puff, puff, puff. Under He Xian's terrifying all-out attack, regardless of whether it was Ling Zhuo or the others, all of them were severely injured and spat out mouthfuls of blood. Then, they looked at He Xian with intense fear in their eyes. He Xian's strength was too strong. It was not something they could compare to. It seemed like they were going to die here today. Where did this black-clothed, middle-aged man come from? Even the envoys of the big regions don't seem to have such terrifying strength. Why would such a person and Mo Qingyun appear in a small place like the Great Yin Dynasty? Why is that? This Mo Qingyun, could it be that he came from one of the 9 great holy cities? Other than being a genius from that place, how could he have such terrifying talent and background? At this moment, Ling Zhuo and the others were puzzled. They started to guess Mo Qingyun's background and origin. Savage beast sky, piercing roar. However, before Ling Zhuo and the others could figure it out, a beast's roar exploded in the sky. Then, Ling Zhuo and the others saw a huge golden demonic beast shadow opening its mouth and trying to swallow them. As the huge demonic beast shadow approached them, Ling Zhuo and the others immediately felt a terrifying sound wave that could shake their souls forcefully blasted into their heads. Puff, puff, puff. Under the impact of the sound wave, Ling Zhuo and the others spat out mouthfuls of blood again. Their auras became even weaker and weaker. Then, Ling Zhuo and the others were swallowed by the golden demonic beast shadow without any resistance. The moment they were swallowed by the demonic beast shadow, waves of even more terrifying sound waves began to bombard their consciousness. Under the impact of the sound waves, Ling Zhuo and the others' consciousness began to fade. Their eyes were glazed over, and blood kept flowing out of their mouths. At this moment, Ling Zhuo and the others were bombarded by Savage Beast and He Xian until they were half dead. Dance of the Dragons. Qi Lian did not hold back at all as he unleashed his strongest divine ability, the Treasure Elephant. As soon as the Dance of the Demons was unleashed, the primordial 9 underworld's demon dragon divine ability shadow appeared on the body of the primordial 9 underworld's demon dragon divine ability treasure elephant. As soon as the dragon head shadows appeared, they turned into afterimages and charged at Ling Zhuo and the others. Swoosh! 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 Faced with the dragon head shadow's attack, Ling Zhuo and the others were killed on the spot in just a blink of an eye. Ling Zhuo and the others were dead. More than 10 Transcendent Realm experts and 1 mid-level Transcendent Realm expert were killed just like that. When Han Luo, Xian Fei, and the others in the Tianyin mansion saw this scene, they were stunned. This was especially true for Elder Xian Ying and the others. When they saw this scene, they were almost scared to death. They did not expect that the genius disciples of the Rolling Curtain Peak would have such a powerful background. One of the 3 elders of the Mystic Ice Palace, Ling Zhuo, who was at the intermediate stage 4th level of the Divine Ability Realm, was killed by Mo Qingyun and the others in just a blink of an eye. The 3 people beside Qingyun are so strong. With their strength, I'm afraid they can wipe out the entire Mystic Ice Palace. Ling Zhuo and the others were really blind. They actually chose Han Yang as the palace master and gave up on Qingyun, who had more potential. What's funny is that Han Yang was killed by Qingyun just a few days after he became a palace master. I'm afraid he's the fastest palace master in the history of the Mystic Ice Palace. All of a sudden, Xian Ying and the others were filled with emotion as they spoke one sentence after another. While Xian Ying and the others were lamenting in their hearts, Qi Lian and the other 2 arrived in front of Mo Qingyun. At this moment, Qi Lian's aura fluctuated greatly. It was as though he had devoured too much energy and had yet to refine it. It seemed like his divine ability treasure elephant had devoured the flesh and blood of Ling Zhuo and the others and had yet to refine it. Young Lord, this is the cosmos sac of Ling Zhuo and the others. When Qi Lian arrived in front of Mo Qingyun, he took out the cosmos sac of Ling Zhuo and the others and handed it to Mo Qingyun. All right. Upon seeing this, Mo Qingyun took the cosmos sac and told Qi Lian, since you've just devoured the flesh and blood of Ling Zhuo and the others, I'll send you to Hexian Palace to cultivate. Thank you, young lord. Qi Lian had a grateful expression on his face as he thanked Mo Qingyun. Then, he was sent to Hexian Palace by Mo Qingyun. Little fellow, I'll return to Hexian Palace as well. After Qi Lian was sent to Hexian Palace by Mo Qingyun, Hexian instructed Mo Qingyun before he entered Hexian Palace. Savage beast, let's go back. When Mo Qingyun saw that Hexian and Qi Lian had entered Hexian Palace, he leaped on his savage beast back and instructed savage beast to carry him back to the Tianyin mansion. Han Luo, please take care of the aftermath. When they arrived at the Tianyin mansion, Mo Qingyun instructed Han Luo before he returned to his residence. Senior brother Mo. When Xian Tian and the others saw that Mo Qingyun was about to leave, an anxious expression appeared on their faces as they hastily called out to Mo Qingyun. Chapter 779. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's only thought was to quickly condense his second incarnation. In this way, he naturally did not have the time to care about Xian Tian and the others. He did not care if they joined the Tianyin mansion or not. After instructing Han Luo and the others, Mo Qingyun quickly returned to his residence. After a short while, Mo Qingyun returned to his room. As soon as he entered his room, Mo Qingyun did not waste any time and entered the Hexian Hall. After entering the Hexian Hall, Mo Qingyun walked into a cultivation room and began to condense his second incarnation. Steel arm ape beast bone, jade lotus blood flesh, scarlet flame green serpent tendons. Following that, the materials for condensing the incarnation were presented before Mo Qingyun. The steel arm ape beast bone will condense the skeleton. The jade lotus blood flesh will condense the flesh. The scarlet flame green serpent tendons will condense the meridians. And lastly, the bloodline of the three-eyed demon tribe. The potential of this second incarnation will far surpass the potential of the first incarnation. Looking at the items in front of him, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with anticipation. He had great expectations for his second incarnation. Following that, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and began to condense his second incarnation according to the description of the Haitian incarnation. As Mo Qingyun began to condense his incarnation, the materials in front of him began to transform into the body parts of his incarnation. Looking at the body parts of his incarnation taking shape under his refining, Mo Qingyun smiled excitedly. Time passed bit by bit as Mo Qingyun condensed his second incarnation. While Mo Qingyun was condensing his second incarnation, Xian Ao brought Nangong Yu to the rolling curtain peak. Why is there no one here? Looking at the empty rolling curtain peak in front of him, Xian Ao was shocked. A strong sense of confusion rose in his heart. Why was there not even a single disciple on the rolling curtain peak? At this moment, while Xian Ao was puzzled, a young man with a gloomy expression slowly approached. This young man was none other than Di Junfan, who had been Mo Qingyun's guide. Xian, Grandmaster Xian Ao, you're back. When Di Junfan saw Xian Ao not far away, he immediately revealed a pleasantly surprised expression and excitedly walked towards Xian Ao. After a brief moment of pleasant surprise, Di Junfan's expression dimmed again. He said worriedly to Xian Ao, Ancestor Xian Ao, you should leave Profound Ice Palace quickly. You'll have to return soon. Hearing Di Junfan's words, Xian Ao was confused. He frowned and asked, Junfan, what do you mean? What happened at Curtain Peak? Tell me immediately. Yes. Hearing Xian Ao's words, Di Junfan did not dare to hesitate and began to tell the story to Xian Ao. A few days ago, when Han Yang succeeded to the position of Palace Master, in order to take revenge on junior brother Mo, he vented his anger on Rolling Curtain Peak and arrested Ancestor Xian Jinzi and the others. Di Junfan paused, glanced around nervously, and continued. After Ancestor Xian Jinzi and the others were imprisoned, people from Snow Night Peak, Falling Frost Peak, Bathing Peak, and other peaks came to take away the disciples of Rolling Curtain Peak. Now, there are only a few disciples left on Rolling Curtain Peak. These guys are really despicable. After listening to Di Junfan's story, Xian Ao immediately clenched his fists and showed an angry expression. His face was gloomy to the extreme. Old man, I didn't expect Rolling Curtain Peak to have it worse than me. Hearing Di Junfan's story, Nangong Xiefeng showed a gloating smile and laughed complacently. I advise you to release this young lord as soon as possible. Perhaps this young lord will be happy and give you a deacon position in Sky Feather Mountain. Shut up. Hearing Nangong Xiefeng's words, Xian Ao's face immediately darkened, and he fiercely scolded him. Ancestor Xian Ao, you'd better leave Dark Ice Palace immediately. Di Junfan looked nervous, glanced around, and urged Xian Ao anxiously. Otherwise, when the people from the other peaks know that you're back, they won't let you leave. They'll take action and imprison you. It's too late to leave. At this moment, just as Di Junfan finished speaking, a gloomy voice was heard. Then, Xian Ao saw two familiar figures approaching, and his face immediately darkened. The two figures were Roba, the supreme elder of Bathing Peak, and Song Yejing, the peak master of Snow Night Peak. Disciple Song Yejing greets Master. After Song Yejing and Di Junfan approached, Song Yejing showed a humble expression and saluted Xian Ao. Master, I was ordered by Palace Master Han Yang to wait here for you and the other elders of Rolling Curtain Peak to return. Since you're back, please come with me. Song Yejing, you're a disciple of Rolling Curtain Peak. Aren't you afraid of retribution for treating Rolling Curtain Peak like this? Seeing Song Yejing's behavior, Di Junfan showed an indignant expression and scolded Song Yejing. Humph! A little inner disciple dares to be rude to Peak Master Song. You're courting death. Seeing Di Junfan talk back to Song Yejing, Roba's face turned cold, and he raised his hand to attack Di Junfan. Seeing Roba's action, Xian Ao did not hesitate and quickly raised his hand to block Roba's move. Bang! When Xian Ao and Roba collided, there was a muffled sound, and both of them were pushed back. After blocking Roba's attack, Xian'ao showed a mocking expression and said disdainfully, "Roba, when did you become Peak Master Song's lackey? You're wagging your tail in front of him like this." "Xian'ao, don't talk nonsense." Hearing Xian'ao's mocking words, Roba's face immediately darkened, and he wanted to argue with Xian'ao. "Grand Elder Roba, don't argue. Palace Master Hunyang's matter is the most important." Seeing Roba's action, Song Yejing raised his hand and interrupted him. He turned to Xian'ao and said coldly, "Master, I don't want to use force against you, so please don't make things too difficult for me. Come with us." "Humph. Lead the way." Hearing Song Yejing's words, Xian'ao snorted and said to Di Junfan, "Junfan, come with me." Xian'ao knew very well that with his strength, he was definitely not a match for Song Yejing and Di Junfan. In this way, even if he tried to resist, it would be useless. Therefore, he might as well go along with Song Yejing and Di Junfan to prevent them from doing anything excessive. Of course, Xian'ao did this mainly because he thought that with Song Yejing and Di Junfan, he would be able to see Zuanzinzi and the others. At that time, he would discuss with Zuanzinzi and the others how to deal with Nangong Xiefeng and how to leave the mysterious ice palace. Seeing that Xian'ao was willing to follow them obediently, Song Yejing and Roba sneered proudly. After a while, with Roba and Song Yejing leading the way, Xian'ao and the others arrived at the mysterious Ice Peak prison. At this moment, when Xian'ao entered the mysterious Ice Peak prison, "Old dogs of the Ling family, hand over my son." An angry voice came from outside the mysterious ice palace and instantly filled the entire mysterious ice palace. Chapter 780. Someone is attacking the mysterious ice palace. Xian'ao and the others had the same thought when they sensed the terrifying auras. What's going on? Why are there so many experts attacking the mysterious ice palace? Both Song Yejing and Luo Ba were shocked when they sensed the terrifying aura coming from outside the mystic ice palace. They were shocked by this scene. They could clearly sense that the people attacking the mysterious ice palace were all existences whose cultivation had surpassed the divine power realm. Faced with the sudden attack of so many transcendent realm experts, even with profound ice palace's foundation, it would be a tough battle. "My father is here. My father is here to save me." Ha! Compared to the worry of Song Yejing and the others, Nangong Xiefeng was pleasantly surprised. He said excitedly and sneered, "You guys better let go of this young lord obediently. Otherwise, my father will tear you into pieces." "Your father?" Song Yejing and Robo were shocked when they heard Nangong Xiefeng's words. They looked at him with disdain and said, "Kid, you're just a piece of trash with a destroyed Dantian. Are you worthy of dozens of divine power realm experts?" Clearly, Song Yejing and Roba Ao did not believe that the people attacking the mysterious ice palace were because of Nangong Xiefeng. "Humph, old man, how dare you look down on this young lord? Just wait for your death." Nangong Xiefeng's face darkened when he heard Song Yejing and Roba's disdainful words. How dare a kid with a destroyed Dantian speak so arrogantly? Roba's face darkened when he heard Nangong Xiefeng's words. He was about to attack Nangong Xiefeng. "Roba, how dare you?" Xian'ao's face darkened when he saw that Roba was about to attack Nangong Xiefeng. He stood in front of Nangong Xiefeng. Xian'ao's heart skipped a beat when he heard Nangong Xiefeng's words. He felt that Nangong Xiefeng might be telling the truth. If Nangong Yu knew about Nangong Xiefeng's whereabouts, he would most likely bring people to the mysterious ice palace to rescue Nangong Xiefeng. Therefore, before the situation was clear, Nangong Xiefeng could not be killed by Roba. From Xian'ao's point of view, sparing Nangong Xiefeng's life might have unexpected effects in the future. "Elder Luo Ba, ignore this kid for now. Let's go to the profound Ice Peaks conference hall and wait for the sect guardian elder's instructions." Yi Jing said solemnly to Luo Ba and then walked out of the prison, no longer paying attention to Xian'ao and the others. "Humph." Hearing this, Luo Ba snorted coldly, waved his sleeve, and left with Song Yejing. "Let's go in." Xian Ao led Dijun Fan and Nangong CF Feng into the inner part of the prison when he saw that Roba and Song Yejing had left. After a while, Xian Ao saw Zuanzenzi and the rest imprisoned in the inner part of the prison. Zuanzenzi and the rest were Divine Power Realm and Heaven's Dipper Realm experts. Moreover, they had not been confirmed as traitors. As such, they were only locked up and not subjected to any punishment. Xian Ao, why have you been captured? Have all the juniors in the family been captured? Seeing Xian Ao walking towards him, Zuanzenzi immediately frowned and asked Xian Ao, Patriarch, don't worry. The juniors are all in Tianya Mansion. They are very safe. Hearing Xian Jinzi's worried words, Xian Ao gave him a comforting smile and said something to reassure him. He then said, I came back this time to bring this brat here. He is... Hearing Xian Ao's words, Zuanzenzi and the rest were puzzled. They turned to look at Nangong Xiefeng. To Zuanzenzi and the rest, Xian Ao's actions were too abnormal for him to bring back a guy whose Dantian had been destroyed. This is Nangong Yu's son. When he invaded Tianyan Mansion, Qing Yin captured him. Seeing that Zuanzenzi and the rest were puzzled, Xian Ao explained solemnly. He then said, Qing Yin, on account of the hatred between Rolling Curtain Peak and Nangong Yu, handed him over to us to deal with. Good. Rolling Curtain Peak has a disciple like Qing Yin. We are really blessed by our patriarch. Hearing Xian Ao's explanation, Zuanzenzi and the rest were gratified. They praised Mo Qing Yun continuously. After praising Mo Qing Yun, Zuanzenzi and the rest's faces darkened. They looked at Nangong Xiefeng with killing intent. After so many years, they could finally get some interest from Nangong Yu. Sensing the killing intent from Zuanzenzi and the rest, Nangong Xiefeng's face immediately twitched. He said in a panic, Don't do anything rash. My father is outside the mysterious ice palace. If you kill me, none of you will live. His father was outside the mysterious ice palace? Hearing Nangong Xiefeng's words, Zuanzenzi revealed a shocked expression. He was extremely surprised by Nangong Xiefeng's words. This news was simply too unexpected for them. Then Zuanzenzi and the rest were puzzled. They all turned to look at Xian Ao. Just now, there was a group of experts outside the mysterious ice palace. It's very likely that they were Nangong Yu and the rest. Seeing Zuanzenzi and the rest looking at him, Xian Ao explained. He then said with a serious expression, I think that we shouldn't kill this guy for the time being. Keeping him alive might be useful in the future. Zuanzenzi and the rest were all experienced people. As soon as Xian Ao said this, they understood what Xian Ao meant. They didn't kill Nangong Xiefeng now because they were leaving a way out. If the mysterious ice palace couldn't defeat Nangong Yu and the rest, they could use Nangong Xiefeng's life to threaten Nangong Yu in exchange for a chance to live. After understanding Xian Ao's words, Zuanzenzi and the rest nodded continuously. They agreed with Xian Ao's suggestion. At this moment, while Zuanzenzi and the rest were talking, the conference hall of the mysterious ice peak was already full of people. Standing at the center of the conference hall were two middle stage and late stage level 4 divine power realm elders. They were the two ancestors of the mysterious ice palace, Ling Rao and Ling Mei. Below Ling Rao and Ling Mei was a group of experts at level 1 to level 3 of the divine power realm. They were the guardian elders of the mysterious ice palace and the supreme elders of the mysterious ice peak. Below these guardian elders were the peak masters and elders of the various peaks. At this moment, everyone had a serious expression, waiting for Ling Rao and Ling Mei to give the order. I didn't expect that the traitor Nangong Yu to not only survive back then, but his cultivation has also improved greatly over the years. This time he's back. We must eliminate him. Chapter 781. After a while, under the lead of Ling Kwa and Ling Mo, they arrived at the gate of the mysterious ice palace and confronted Nangong Yu and the others in the air. Ling Kwa, Ling Mo, why are there only the two of you here? Is that old bastard Ling Zhua dead? Looking down at Ling Rao and Ling Mao, Nangongyu revealed a cold smile. His eyes flashed with a trace of complacency. Back then, he was almost killed in the mysterious Ice Palace because of the interference of the territory emissaries. Fortunately, after he escaped from the mysterious Ice Palace, he received the help of his father-in-law, the Mountain Master of the Sky, Feather Mountain, who asked him to stay in the Sky, Feather Mountain, to recuperate. Now that more than 10 years had passed, he finally had the chance to take revenge. How could he not be happy? More importantly, only 2 of the 3 elders of the mysterious Ice Palace remained in the mysterious Ice Palace today. To him, this was simply a blessing from the heavens. Humph! Nangongyu, you traitor, don't be so arrogant. Today, even if Ling Zhua is not here, the 2 of us can still kill you. Hearing Nangongyu's proud words, Ling Kui said coldly with a gloomy expression, Ling Kui, you were not my match back then. Now, you are even less of a match for me. Hearing Ling Kui's words, Nangongyu curled his lips in disdain. He turned to Feng Maiyun and said, Brother Feng, I'll have to trouble you with that Ling Kui. Ha, Brother Nangong, don't worry. It's just a piece of cake to deal with an old man in the late stage of the divine power realm. Hearing Nangong's words, Feng Maiyun replied with a faint smile. He did not take Ling Kui seriously at all. Peak of the divine power realm. Sensing Feng Maiyun's aura, Ling Kui immediately tensed up. With a hint of fear in his eyes, he said, Who are you? Why are you helping Nangongyu against the mysterious Ice Palace? Aren't you afraid of being punished by the sects of the big region? Bah, a small Dongxing region sect is not enough to scare me. Feng Maiyun showed a disdainful expression in response to Ling Mao's threatening words. He said nonchalantly, If my master was still alive, he would be fearless even in the face of the 9 great sects. Therefore, if you want to use this to threaten me, you are wrong. Brother Feng, let's not waste words with them. Let's just kill them. At this moment, Nangongyu looked impatient as he urged Feng Maiyun, who was beside him. All right. Hearing this, Feng Maiyun nodded and charged towards Ling Bo. All of you, go all out and kill these guys from the profound Ice Palace. Seeing Feng Maiyun attack Ling Mao, Nangongyu didn't hesitate. He ordered the people behind him and rushed towards Ling Mao. Then the people from Sky, Feather Mountain started a fight with Ling Rao and the others. At this moment, everyone was crazily killing each other. On the mystic ice peak in a quiet courtyard. Brother-in-law, are you really not going out to fight the enemy together? A young woman at level 3 god art level looked curiously at Ling Kai, asking for his opinion. This woman was none other than Mo Ling's aunt, Ren Qingqing. She came from a sect in the Grand Domain. A few days ago, Ren Qingqing received the news of Mo Ling's marriage and rushed over from the sect in the Grand Domain to congratulate him. Unexpectedly, when she arrived at the profound Ice Palace, Missouri Qingyun had already taken Mo Ling away, and Ling Kai had been stripped of his position as the palace master. Knowing that Ling Kai had been stripped of his position as the palace master, Ren Qingqing was furious. However, because of Ling Kai's consolation, she didn't vent her anger on anyone else. There are so many experts in the Mystic Ice Palace. It doesn't matter if I go or not. It doesn't matter if I go or not. When Ling Kai heard Ren Qingqing's words, a dejected expression appeared on his face. He said indifferently, Who would have thought that I, Ling Zhua, would be wrong about Han Yang, even though I've seen so many people in my life? I brought this upon myself. Brother-in-law, don't say that. I think it's a good thing that you lost your position as the palace master. Seeing that Ling Kai's fighting spirit had dissipated, Ren Qingqing rolled her eyes and smiled mysteriously at Ling Kai. It's a good thing? What do you mean? Hearing Ren Qingqing's words, Ling Luo was slightly stunned. He looked at Ren Qingqing with a puzzled expression. Brother-in-law, think about it. When you were the palace master of the profound Ice Palace, you couldn't leave the profound Ice Palace. Seeing that Ling Kai was confused and puzzled, Ren Qingqing smiled slyly and explained, Now that I'm no longer the palace master, I don't have any restrictions. Can't I do whatever I want? That's right. Qingqing, you're smart. This way, I could go to the Tianyin mansion to see Ling Hearing Ren Qingqing's words, Ling Kai's face immediately lit up with joy. He said eagerly, "Some time ago, for the sake of the profound Ice Palace's future, I let Ling marry Han Yang. I almost sacrificed Ling happiness. Now, I'm going to the Tianyin mansion to apologize to Ling. I'll go with you." Ren Qingqing revealed a bright smile when she heard Ling Kai's decision. She expressed her thoughts before she continued. "Let's go to the Tianyin mansion together. At that time, if Mo Qingyun falls into the hands of Ling Zhua and the others, we can plead for him." At this moment, if one were to observe carefully, one would notice that Ren Qingqing was looking at Ling Kai with a strong sense of adoration. That's good as well. If you ask, old ancestor Ling Zhua will definitely give you some face. Ling Kai did not think too much about it when he heard Ren Qingqing's words. He nodded in agreement. If that's the case, let's set off immediately. After discussing with Ren Qingqing, Lin Kai did not want to stay any longer. He immediately stood up and walked out of the courtyard. Upon seeing this, Ren Qingqing smiled sweetly and hurriedly followed after him. After these few days of counseling, Ling Kai had finally recovered from the blow of losing the palace master's position. That's right, Xian Junzi and the others are still imprisoned in the profound Ice Peak prison. Let's release them while we're at it. After walking out of his small courtyard, Ling Kai's expression suddenly changed as a plan formed in his mind. Subsequently, Ling Kai and Ren Qingqing arrived at the profound Ice Peak prison together. "Palace Master Ling Kai, guest Elder Ren, why are you here?" Upon seeing Ling Kai and Ren Qingqing's arrival, Xian Junzi and the others were immediately surprised and asked in confusion. "I'm going to the Tianyin mansion with Qingqing." "Come with us." Ling Kai opened his mouth to reply to Xian Junzi's puzzle question. He sighed and said, "After you leave Mysterious Ice Palace, find a remote empire to settle down in. In the future, don't ever return to Mysterious Ice Palace." The meaning of Ling Kai's words was obvious. He was warning Xian Junzi and the others that the profound Ice Palace could no longer tolerate them. Now that Han Yang had become the palace master of the profound Ice Palace, he was going to vent his anger on Xian Junzi and the others because of Mo Qingyun. He would definitely find an opportunity to get rid of them in the future. If Xian Junzi and the others continued to stay in the profound Ice Palace, it would be too dangerous. It was better for them to leave the profound Ice Palace as soon as possible. Sigh, forget it. Upon hearing Ling Kai's words, Xian Junzi and the others understood. They sighed and shook their heads. In the end, they still had to leave the profound Ice Palace and abandoned the foundation of their ancestors. Let's go. Chapter 782. While Ling Kai and the others were heading to the Tianyin mansion, the battle on Nangong Yu's side was getting more and more intense. Since the people from a Mystic Ice Palace were not united, the combat strength that they displayed was less than 50% of their usual strength. After a series of frenzied killings, the people from a Mystic Ice Palace were suppressed and killed by Nangong Yu and the others. "Senior brother Ling Mao, we can't go on like this. We'll be killed one by one." Seeing the peak masters and elders on his side being killed by Nangong Yu and the others, Ling Luo looked worried. I didn't expect Nangong Yu's strength to improve so quickly. He even recruited an expert at the peak of level 4 divine power. When Ling Mao heard this, he frowned and revealed a solemn expression. He said in a deep voice, "Unless junior brother Ling Zhua joins forces with us, otherwise the two of us are no match for them." "Ha! Ling Mao, you two old fogies will die today." Seeing that he and Feng Mayun had joined forces to suppress Ling Mao, Nangong Yu smiled proudly. After saying these proud words, Nangong Yu revealed a sinister smile. He turned his head and looked at the peak masters and elders of the Mystic Ice Palace. He said with a sinister smile, "Fellow disciples of the Mystic Ice Palace, on account of our past friendship, I will give you a chance to choose. As long as you withdraw from the battle and submit to me, I will spare your lives." Upon hearing Nangong Yu's words, the expressions of the peak masters and elders changed, revealing a hint of hesitation. In the eyes of the peak masters and elders, it was obvious that the enemy was stronger than them. If they continued to fight, they might really die here. If that was the case, they could consider submitting to Nangongyu. After all, morality was not important here. Seeing the expressions of the peak masters and elders, Ling Mao's expression immediately turned solemn. He said nervously, "Don't listen to his lies. He's ambitious. You can't believe his words." Nangongyu seemed to have expected Ling Mao to say that. He smiled coldly and said, "Everyone, have you ever thought about why the Ling family has been in charge of the Mystic Ice Palace for so many years?" Everyone looked at each other when they heard Nangongyu's words. They did not understand what Nangongyu meant. Seeing everyone's expression, Nangongyu smiled treacherously and said, "Because, in order to prevent the Ling family from being replaced, they purposely divided the mysterious ice palace into countless peaks so that they could compete with each other and kill each other to prevent the Ling family's strength from surpassing theirs. Let me ask you, how can such a treacherous and cunning person follow them? Nangongyu, don't try to deceive the people with your lies." Hearing Nangongyu's words, Ling Rao's face immediately tensed up, and the worry on his face became more intense. Although the profound ice palace did not have so many peaks as Nangongyu described, the profound ice palace did not have so many peaks. Originally, when the mysterious ice palace was first established, there were not so many peaks. Later on, in order to reward talented disciples, and some disciples who had made great contributions to the mysterious ice palace, they were given the right to establish their own peaks. Who would have thought that as time passed, the number of peaks in the mystic ice palace would increase to thousands? What Ling Rao and Ling Rao did not expect was that Nangongyu would use this as a basis to label the mysterious ice palace as treacherous. They had to admit that Nangongyu's actions at this moment were indeed treacherous and ruthless. "Senior brother Nangong, I'm willing to pledge allegiance to you." At that moment, when the crowd was still hesitating, a fawning voice sounded from the mouth of a person. This person was Song Yejing, who had betrayed the Rolling Curtain Peak and later became the peak master of Snowy Night Peak. "Haha, junior brother Song is so righteous." Seeing that Song Yejing had taken the lead to pledge allegiance to him, Nangongyu smiled brightly and praised Song Yejing. In Nangongyu's opinion, Song Yejing's actions at this moment were timely and timely. As the saying went, if there was a first, there would be a second. Now that Song Yejing had taken the lead to pledge allegiance to Nangongyu, it had undoubtedly dispelled many people's concerns. "Song Yejing, you traitor! Song Yejing, you really can't change a dog's habit. You always do treacherous things. Song Yejing, you're asking a tiger for its skin. Be careful, you'll die a horrible death." Seeing that Song Yejing had pledged allegiance to Nangongyu, someone immediately became angry and criticized Song Yejing. "Humph, you bunch of idiots. Don't you know that a wise man submits to circumstances?" Song Yejing smiled indifferently at the crowd's mocking words. He did not feel that his actions were shameful at all. "Haha, junior brother Song, well said." Hearing Song Yejing's words, Nangongyu immediately laughed and praised Song Yejing. Then, he turned to the others and said, "My former fellow disciples, what do you think? I hope you won't make things difficult for me and put us in a situation where we have to kill each other." Hearing Nangongyu's words and seeing Song Yejing's actions, some of the hesitant people made up their minds. Then, one after another, people expressed their willingness to pledge allegiance to Nangongyu. "Junior nephew Nangong, from now on, I'll follow your orders. Palace Master Nangong, I, Roba, have been waiting for your return. Today, I can finally follow you around again. My Falling Frost Peak welcomes Palace Master Nangong back. Please lead our mysterious ice palace to glory again." In an instant, the peak leaders and elders of each peak expressed their allegiance to Nangongyu. "Haha, thank you all for your trust. I won't let you down." Seeing that almost half of the people were willing to pledge their allegiance, Nangongyu's face became even more smug. He laughed and said, "However, The most important thing now is to get rid of these traitors. Traitors of the sect. Hearing Nangong Yu's words, Ling Mao and the others felt a strong sense of irony in their hearts. They were the true inheritors of mysterious Ice Palace, but Nangong Yu, a traitor, had turned them into traitors. This result really made people sigh endlessly. However, since ancient times, the winner was the king and the loser was the villain. Those who were not as skilled as others had no right to defend themselves. Since you people are so stubborn, then don't blame me for not taking into account our past relationship. Nangong Yu's expression turned gloomy as he looked at the remaining people who were unwilling to submit. After saying these cold words, he turned to the people behind him and said, "Everyone, follow me to kill these traitors and uphold the supreme rules of the profound Ice Palace." After Nangong Yu finished speaking, he led the people to attack Ling Mao and the others. Chapter 783. Everyone, let's stop fighting. Let's go to the Great Yin Dynasty's flame capital and meet up with Ling Zhuo and Han Yang. Ling Mao immediately reminded everyone when he saw the scene before him. He did not want to fight with Nangong Yu and the others for a long time. The current situation was too obvious. The combat strength of both parties was not proportional at all. If they continued to fight, none of them would be able to escape. Subsequently, Ling Mao led everyone to fight as they retreated in the direction of the Great Yin Dynasty. It seems like the Tianyin Mansion is indeed a branch of the Mystic Ice Palace. Nangong Yu's guess was confirmed when he saw the actions of Ling Mao and the others. Nangong Yu revealed a cold smile when he saw that he had guessed the relationship between the Mystic Ice Palace and the Tianyin Mansion. He sneered at Ling Mao and said, "Ling Mao, stop dreaming. I'm not asking you to escape to the Tianyin Mansion and meet up with Ling Zhuo and the others." As soon as Nangong Yu's words left his mouth, his attacks became more ferocious and his expression turned colder. As Nangong Yu and the others attacked more viciously, Ling Mao and the others were in an even more dangerous situation. If this goes on, we might not be able to escape today. We have to let some of them escape first. Ling Mao's old face turned solemn when he saw that they were in danger. He made a decision in his heart and said to Ling Rao, "Junior brother Ling Rao, you take the others and leave first. I'll cover your retreat. Senior brother Ling Mao, you can't stay here alone." Ling Rao immediately understood Ling Mao's intention when he heard his words. A worried expression appeared on his face. He knew very well that Ling Mei's words meant that he was going to sacrifice himself so that everyone would have more time to escape. "Junior brother Ling Rao, you don't have to persuade me anymore. I've already made up my mind." In response to Ling Rao's persuasion, Ling Ao showed a firm expression. He raised his hand to interrupt him and said, "Last time, when the mysterious Ice Palace went through a disaster, senior brothers Ling Shun and Ling Xiu all sacrificed themselves for the mysterious Ice Palace. Today, it's my turn." Ling Mao's expression turned solemn when he said those words. He said to Ling Rao in a deep voice, "Junior brother Ling Rao, don't delay any longer. Take the others and leave immediately." "All right." Hearing Rao Ling Mao's words, Ling Rao no longer hesitated and nodded. He knew that the longer this dragged on, the more disadvantageous it would be for them. Now is not the time to be soft-hearted. "Everyone retreat with me." After that, Ling Rao led everyone to break out of the encirclement and fled towards the direction of the Great Yin Dynasty. While Ling Rao and the others were running for their lives, Ling Mao was attacking Nangong Yu and the others crazily. "Nangong Yu, even if I die today, I will drag all of you down with me." At that moment, Ling Mao was fighting Nangong Yu and the others with his life on the line. Ling Mao was an expert in the fourth stage of the God unlocking stage. If he didn't care about his life, his killing power would be extremely terrifying. For a moment, Nangong Yu and the others could not do anything to Ling Pang. They were really held back by him. Since Nangong Yu and Feng Moyun were held back, the others did not dare to chase after Ling Rao. After all, no one on their side was a match for Ling Rao. If they chased after him blindly, they would only end up being killed by Ling Rao. Just like that, Ling Rao and the others disappeared from Nangong Yu and the other's sight in the blink of an eye. Seeing that Ling Rao and the others had escaped, Nangong Yu's face darkened. With a ferocious expression, he said, "Ling Mao, since you are so eager to die, I will fulfill your wish today." As soon as Nangong Yu finished speaking, his attacks became more ruthless. He began to bombard Ling Wang with frenzied attacks. Faced with Nangong Yu and Feng Moyun's crazy attacks, Ling Mao was gradually losing his strength and was in a situation where he was getting beaten up. After realizing this, Ling Mao's expression revealed a trace of viciousness. He looked as if he was ready to die together with them. "Nangong Yu, even if I have to die today, I will make you pay a painful price." As soon as Ling Mao finished speaking, a ruthless look appeared on his face. He raised his hand and threw a punch at Nangong Yu. Explode. At that moment, after Ling Mao punched out, his right arm left his body and flew towards Nangong Yu and Feng Moyun. Bang! As Ling Mao's right arm neared Nangong Yu and Feng Moyun, it immediately exploded, releasing a shocking force storm. Under this terrifying force storm, Nangong Yu and the others were forced to retreat and suffered some minor injuries. At the cost of an arm, Ling Mao forced Nangong Yu and the others to retreat temporarily. Without any hesitation, he immediately turned around and fled. "Ling Mao, you crippled your own arm just to force us to retreat." After Ling Mao's arm exploded, Nangong Yu was forced to retreat continuously. With a gloomy expression, he said, "Even if you forced us to retreat temporarily, you will not be able to escape. Since that is the case, I will go to the Great Yin Dynasty and kill all of you in one fell swoop. Let's chase after them," Nangong Yu said coldly. With a flash of his body, he led the others to chase after Ling Mao and the others. While Nangong Yu and the others were chasing after Ling Mao, a group of familiar figures appeared in front of Ling Mao and the others who were fleeing towards the Great Yin Dynasty. Ling Kai Misrin? Looking at the group in front of him, Ling Mao was shocked. He was surprised by the scene in front of him. They did not expect to meet Ling Kai and the others here. "Ancestor Ling Mao, you are..." Looking at the battered and exhausted Ling Mao and the others, Ling Kai was also shocked. A strong sense of confusion rose in his heart. "Let's not talk about this for now. Let's leave this place as soon as possible." In response to Ling Kai's question, Ling Mao was anxious and worried. He immediately changed the topic and asked, "Ling Kai, where do you plan to go?" "Great Yin Dynasty, Yin Capital, Tianyin Mansion." Hearing this, Ling Kai didn't beat around the bush and directly told him where he was going. "Great Yin Dynasty, Yin Capital, Tianyin Mansion." Hearing Ling Kai's next destination, Ling Mao and the others were shocked. They sighed in their hearts. This was too much of a coincidence. Ling Kai and the others were going to Tianyin Mansion. After a short moment of shock, Ling Mao's face turned solemn. He said in a deep voice, "Coincidentally, we are also going to Tianyin Mansion. In that case, let's go together. As for other matters, we can discuss them as we go." "All right." Ling Kai nodded in agreement. Subsequently, the group headed to Tianyin Mansion together. As they walked, they discussed the situation in the mysterious Ice Palace. During this time, although the group was surprised by the appearance of Zuanzenzi and the others, they did not probe further as the situation was unique. Swoosh! After an unknown period of time, a figure with a broken arm caught up with them. This figure was Ling Mao, who was escaping. "Old ghost Ling Mao, you can't escape." At this moment, when Ling Mao was approaching Ling Kai and the others, a gloomy voice sounded from behind. Nangong Yu had caught up with them. Knowing that Nangong Yu had caught up with them, everyone's expression turned solemn. Their hearts sank to the bottom. Chapter 784. Compared to the panic and worry in the hearts of the others, Nangong Xiefeng was undoubtedly the most excited and joyful. "My father is here to save me. Just wait for your deaths." "Huh." Thinking that Nangong Yu was about to come and save him, Nangong Xiefeng said arrogantly, with a complacent look on his face, "Your father." Hearing Nangong Xiefeng's words, Ling Mao and the others were stunned. They looked at Nangong Xiefeng in surprise. Glancing at Nangong Xiefeng, Ling Mao put on a solemn expression and asked Zunzinzi, Zunzinzi, who is this guy? Ancestor Ling Mao. He is Nangong Yu's son, Nangong Xiefeng. Hearing Ling Mao's question, Zunzinzi did not hide Nangong Xiefeng's identity. He is Nangong Yu's son. Knowing Nangong Xiefeng's identity, Ling Mao immediately frowned and began to ponder. When Nangong Yu came to the Dark Eyes Palace, he asked us to hand over his son. Does this mean that Nangong Yu was lured here by Zunzinzi and the others? After thinking about this, Ling Mao's gaze toward Zunzinzi and the others immediately became cold. He said coldly, Zunzinzi, you captured Nangong Yu's son and brought him to the Dark Eyes Palace, causing Nangong Yu to invade the Dark Eyes Palace. Did Mo Qingyun instruct you to do this? At this moment, as Ling Mao spoke, the expressions of the surrounding people changed drastically. It turned out that the culprits who caused them to be hunted down by Nangong Yu were Zunzinzi and the others. This was unforgivable. You traitors of the rolling curtain peak. So, Nangong Yu was lured here by you. You lured Nangong Yu to the Dark Eyes Palace and made him fight us to the death. This is too insidious. If my guess isn't wrong, the reason why they're doing this is definitely because of that Mo Qingyun. This way, when Nangong Yu and we both suffer, Mo Qingyun will be able to sit back and reap the benefits. This Mo Qingyun is so insidious. We didn't kill him last time, but today he caused such a disaster. For a moment, the peak masters and elders of the Dark Eyes Palace looked at Zunzinzi and the others with resentment. In their eyes, they were doomed this time because of Zunzinzi and the others. The crowd glared at Zunzinzi and the others. One of them looked gloomy and said coldly, Ancestor Ling Rao, since Nangong Yu is here for this brat, perhaps Nangong Yu will leave if we hand him over to him. It's not that simple. And Nangong uses it. Indeed, given the hatred between Nangong Yu and our Profound Ice Palace, even if today's incident didn't happen, he would still come to our Profound Ice Palace for revenge after he recovers. Hearing Ling Kai's words, Ling Su nodded in agreement. Hearing Ling Kai and Ling Su's words, Ling Rao's expression turned better. He said to Xian Zhenzi coldly, Xian Zhenzi, since Nangong Yu and the others are here for this brat, you can hand him over to me. Ancestor Ling Rao, I can't agree to your request for the time being. Please understand. As for Ling Rao's request, Zunzinzi did not even think about it and rejected it without hesitation. What a joke. Nangong Xiefeng was their trump card. How could they hand him over so easily? If they handed Nangong Xiefeng over, they would be dead meat if Ling Rao and the others abandoned them and handed them over to Nangong Xiefeng. It should be known that even Ling Mao and the others were forced to flee under Nangong Yu's attacks. How could they fight against Nangong Yu with their strength? Therefore, they could not hand Nangong Xiefeng over before they arrived at Tianya Mansion. How dare you, Zunzinzi? How dare you disobey Ancestor Ling Rao? It seems like you have the intention to betray us. As soon as Zunzinzi finished speaking, someone scolded Zunzinzi with a gloomy expression. Following this person's words, another person revealed a gloomy expression and said coldly, Ancestor Ling Rao, it's obvious that Zunzinzi and the others are planning to betray us. Please allow me to destroy them in this formation. As soon as this person finished speaking, he attacked Zunzinzi and the others. He wanted to kill them all. Elder Peng, stop. Ling Kai's expression turned solemn when he saw this person attacking Zunzinzi and the others. At the same time, Ling Kai blocked the person's palm without hesitation. From Ling Kai's point of view, Zunzinzi and the others were Mo Qingyun seniors. With Mo Qingyun's character, if he protected Zunzinzi and the others, he would be able to ease his relationship with Mo Qingyun. Therefore, he could not watch Zunzinzi be killed by Ling Rao and the others. Supreme Elder Ling Kai. Elder Peng's expression darkened when he saw Ling Kai's action. He glared at Ling Kai, but could not say a word. He did not expect Ling Kai to stop him from killing Zunzinzi and the other traitors. I didn't expect you to have internal strife when you're about to die. While Ling Kai and the others were confronting each other, a gloomy voice entered their ears. Nan Gongyu was here. Seeing that Nan Gongyu had caught up with them, everyone's expressions immediately tensed up. Their eyes were filled with intense worry. At that moment, Nan Gongyu and the others arrived before the crowd and surrounded them. Ling Rao, let's see where you can run to. Nan Gongyu sneered as he encircled Ling Rao and the others. He was proud of himself. From his point of view, Ling Rao, who was defeated, would not be able to escape from them. Nan Gongyu, the people who captured your son are from Rolling Curtain Peak. I'll hand them over to you, and we'll write off our grudges. How about that? Looking at Nan Gongyu and the others who had surrounded them, Ling Rao spoke coldly as he negotiated with Nan Gongyu. You're really abandoning the rook to save the king. Hearing Ling Rao's words, Zhuan Zinzi and the others' expressions changed, and they sighed in their hearts. At the same time, they felt lucky that they did not hand Nan Gong Xiefeng over to Ling Rao. Otherwise, they would have lost their trump card, Nan Gong Xiefeng, and they would be dead for sure. Ling Rao, I think you've gone senile. Chapter 785. Father, save me. Seeing Nan Gongyu in front of him, Nan Gong Xiefeng was agitated and quickly shouted at him. Fenger, don't worry. With me here, they won't dare to hurt you. Hearing Nan Gong Xiefeng's words, Nan Gongyu comforted him. He then looked at Zhuan Zinzi and said coldly, Zhuan Zinzi, you guys from Rolling Curtain Peak are quite bold. How dare you kidnap my Fenger? Humph. Others may be afraid of you, Nan Gongyu, but we from Rolling Curtain Peak are not. He raised Nan Gong Xiefeng in his hand and said, Nan Gongyu, if you attack us, I will make your son our scapegoat today. Nan Gong Xiefeng's expression was cold as he replied to Nan Gongyu's cold words. Zhuan Zinzi, let Fenger go first. We can talk about the rest. Seeing Zhuan Zinzi's action, Nan Gongyu looked worried and hurriedly discussed with Zhuan Zinzi. Let him go. Zhuan Zinzi shook his head and smiled faintly. He replied, if we let him go, do you think we'll still have a chance to live? Father? Son? Hearing Zhuan Zinzi and the others' words, Song Yejing and Robo were shocked. Their eyes were filled with panic. They had not expected Nan Gong Xiefeng, who had his Dantian destroyed, to be Nan Gongyu's son. If that was the case, the two of them were in grave danger. If Nan Gongyu knew that they had threatened to kill Nan Gong Xiefeng, they would definitely be in deep trouble. At this moment, Song Yejing and Roba were secretly hoping that Nan Gong Xiefeng would not discover their existence. However, there were many things in this world. The more you feared something, the more it happened. You too, at that moment when Song Yejing and Luo Ba were worried, Nan Gong Xiefeng saw the two of them. Intense chilliness appeared in his eyes. Immediately, Nan Gong Xiefeng no longer hesitated. He turned to Nan Gongyu and asked, Father, why are these two people with you? Feng, you know Elder Roba and Peak Master Song? Hearing Nan Gong Xiefeng's words, Nan Gongyu's expression changed slightly as he asked in a surprised tone. When he was plotting against the mysterious Ice Palace, although Nan Gong Xiefeng was already an adult, he had never stepped into the mysterious Ice Palace. Therefore, he should not know Song Yejing and Roba. As such, Nan Gong Xiefeng's actions were rather abnormal. Father, when I entered the profound Ice Palace, these two people threatened to kill me. They even said, Nan Gong Xiefeng then gave Nan Gongyu a brief account of what had happened. After hearing Nan Gong Xiefeng's story, Nan Gongyu's eyes immediately darkened, and his body emitted a murderous aura. Senior brother Nan Gong, I know I was wrong. Please give me a chance to change. Palace Master Nan Gong, I was blind and didn't recognize the young lord. Please forgive me this time, since it's my first offense. Sensing Nan Gongyu's murderous aura, Song Yejing and Roba panicked and hurriedly knelt down to beg for mercy. How dare you have the intention to kill my son? Unforgivable. Go to hell. Nan Gongyu chose to ignore Song Yejing and Roba's pleas. Without hesitation, he slammed his palm down on them. Roba and Song Yejing's cultivation were at the Heaven Star realm. How could they resist Nangong Yu's attack? Bang bang. Under Nangong Yu's palm strike, Luo Ba and Luo Feng could not even resist before they were killed on the spot. Song Yejing, you treacherous and traitorous villain. You didn't expect to end up like this, did you? Seeing Song Yejing killed by Nangong Yu, Xin Ao was elated. He let out a sigh of relief in his heart. This kind of death should be the best punishment for Song Yejing. It was just like the saying, those who commit too much injustice are doomed to destruction. Palace Master Ling Kai, let's go. Seeing that Song Yejing and Roba had been killed, Xian Jinzi did not want to stay any longer. He signaled to Ling Kai and said, Nangong Yu, if you want to save your son, come to the Tianyin mansion in the Great Yin dynasty to find me. After Xian Jinzi said that, he did not hesitate and immediately headed to the Great Yin dynasty with Ling Kai. Father, save me. Seeing that Xian Jinzi wanted to take him away, Nangong Xie Feng panicked and hurriedly shouted at Nangong Yu. Feng, follow them to the Tianyin mansion first. I'll go to the Tianyin mansion to save you later. Nangong Yu comforted Nangong Xie Feng again. Then he said to Xian Jinzi, if you dare touch a hair on my Feng, I'll definitely exterminate the entire Tianyin mansion. Xian Jinzi ignored Nangong Yu's words. Instead, he quickly left with Xian Ao and the others. In his opinion, they would only be safe when they reached the Tianyin mansion. Xian Jinzi, you traitors, you'll all die a horrible death. Nangong Yu, you can't let them go. Otherwise, you can forget about saving your son. Seeing that Xian Jinzi and the others were gradually walking away, the people beside Ling Rao immediately had sinister expressions on their faces. Humph, how to save Feng is my own business. There's no need for you to worry about it. Nangong Yu curled his lips in disdain and replied nonchalantly to the crowd's words. Ling Kai, as the sect guardian elder of the mysterious Ice Palace, is this how you protect the sect? Seeing that Ling Kai was about to leave with Zuan Zenzi and the others, Ling Yuan's face was filled with anger as he scolded Ling Kai. Ancestor Ling Rao, my strength is too weak. Even if I stay, I'm afraid I won't be of much help. Ling Kai replied indifferently to Ling Rao's reproach. He continued, moreover, I'm someone who has been abandoned by the sect. Why should I get involved in this mess? After Ling Kai finished speaking, he no longer paid any attention to Ling Rao and the others. He was completely disappointed in the mysterious Ice Palace. Ling Kai, you unfilial bastard. Hearing Ling Kai's words, Ling Rao's face was immediately filled with anger. He angrily scolded Ling Kai. However, Ling Kai had already walked far away and could not hear his angry words. At this moment, when Nangong Yu and the others were confronting each other, in the Heishin Palace, a figure with 3 eyes appeared before Mo Qingyun's eyes. This was the second incarnation he had condensed. The second incarnation has finally been successfully condensed. Looking at the second incarnation in front of him, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with surprise. He said excitedly, I can't believe that the second incarnation, with the help of the 3-eyed bloodline essence, has broken through the limit of the incarnation and achieved a cultivation level that surpasses the original body. Young Lord, this old servant has completed his cultivation. At this moment, just when Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised that the second incarnation had been successfully condensed, Qi Lian's words entered his ears. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun brought Qi Lian back to his room from the Heishin Palace. Peak of level 3 of the divine power. Sensing the aura on Qi Lian's body, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with surprise. Qi Lian's cultivation level had actually broken through to the peak of level 3 of the divine power. He was only 1 step away from level 4 of the divine power. However, before Mo Qingyun could rejoice in his heart, a shocking aura exploded from the Tianyin mansion. This was Savage Beast's breakthrough. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun's body moved and rushed towards Savage Beast's residence. P.S. It's 4 o'clock. I'm so sleepy. Good night, everyone. Chapter 786. At this moment, Mo Qingyun and Tang Zhan walked out of the courtyard and prepared to head to Savage Beast's residence. Tang Zhan walked into Mo Qingyun's courtyard with a serious expression. He bowed to Mo Qingyun and said, "Young lord, Elder Xian'ao and a group of people have arrived outside the residence. They're waiting for you outside. Grandmaster Xian'ao is here." Mo Qingyun's expression changed when he heard that. He was surprised and said in a deep voice, "Let's go. We'll go over immediately." "Yes." Tang Zhan nodded and led the way for Mo Qingyun. He said, "Young lord, apart from the dozen or so Heaven Star realm experts who came with Elder Xian'ao, there are also 3 transcendent realm experts." 3 transcendent realm experts? Mo Qingyun was puzzled when he heard that. He guessed in his heart, only Grandmaster Xian Jinzi has reached the peak of Transcendent Realm Level 1 on the Rolling Curtain Peak. If that's the case, who are the other 2 Transcendent Realm experts? Mo Qingyun was puzzled. He was very curious about the identity of the other 2. Then, Mo Qingyun quickened his pace. Soon, Mo Qingyun and the other 2 arrived at the entrance of the Tianyan Manor and saw Zhuan Zhenzi and the others waiting outside. Disciple Mo Qingyun greets Grandmaster Xian Jinzi, Grandmaster Xian'ao, and various elders. Seeing Zhuan Zhenzi and the others before him, Mo Qingyun revealed a humble expression and bowed to them one by one. "Palace Master Ling Kai, you're here too?" Mo Qingyun was surprised when he saw Ling Kai behind Zhuan Zhenzi and the others. He was very surprised by Ling Kai's arrival. At the same time, Mo Qingyun also knew who the other 2 Divinity Realm experts were. These 2 people were naturally Ling Kai and the woman beside him. "Qingyun, it's all thanks to Palace Master Ling Kai that we were able to come to the Tianyan Mansion." Looking at the surprised Mo Qingyun, Zhuan Zhenzi looked at Ling Kai gratefully and told him what had happened. "Palace Master Ling Kai, thank you for saving Ancestor Zhuan Zhenzi and the others." After listening to Zhuan Zhenzi's explanation, Mo Qingyun expressed his gratitude to Ling Kai. "You don't have to thank me for such a small thing." In response to Mo Qingyun's gratitude, Ling Kai indifferently waved his hand and shook his head with a bitter smile. "Now, I'm no longer the palace master. If you don't mind, you can call me Uncle Ling." Ling Kai was Mo Qingyun's biological father. It was reasonable for him to call himself uncle in front of Mo Qingyun. "All right, Uncle Ling." Mo Qingyun nodded humbly when he heard Ling Kai's words. He agreed to Ling Kai's suggestion and said, "Uncle Ling, Ancestor Zhuan Zhenzi, let's not stand here anymore. Let's go into the mansion and have a seat first." After exchanging a few pleasantries with everyone, Mo Qingyun gestured for them to enter the mansion and have a good chat. Subsequently, everyone entered the Tianyan Mansion under Mo Qingyun's lead. After a while, everyone entered the Tianyan Mansion's meeting hall under Mo Qingyun's lead. After sitting down in the meeting hall, Mo Qingyun instructed Qi Lian, who was next to him, "Qi Lian, go and make the arrangements now. Get someone to tidy up a few guest courtyards for Ancestor Zhuan Zhenzi and the others to stay in." "Yes, young lord." When Qi Lian heard this, he nodded in response and walked out of the great meeting hall. He was at the peak of the 3rd level of the Divinity Realm. When Qi Lian walked out of the meeting hall, Ling Kai and the others looked at him. They could sense the obscure aura on his body. Ling Kai and the others were shocked when they sensed the obscure aura on Qi Lian's body. Shock rose in their hearts. The red-haired old man in front of them was actually a powerhouse with a cultivation base at the peak of the 3rd level of the Divine Power Realm. In addition to the demonic beast powerhouse who had protected Mo Qingyun in the Mystic Ice Palace, the Tianyan Mansion now had 2 Divine Power Realm powerhouses. Ling Kai and the others were shocked when they discovered this. They were quite shocked by this discovery. A small Tianyan Mansion actually had 2 Divine Power Realm powerhouses. This was simply too frightening. Subsequently, everyone's impression of the Tianyan Mansion rose to a whole new level. Qin Yun, not long ago, Han Yang and Ancestor Ling Zhuo brought people to attack the Tianyan Mansion. Did the Tianyan Mansion suffer any damage? Ling Kai asked with concern when he suddenly thought of Han Yang and the others who had attacked the Tianyan mansion. Thank you for your concern, Uncle Ling. They can't do anything to the Tianyan mansion. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly in response to Ling Kai's question and replied nonchalantly, "That's great." Ling Kai's expression relaxed slightly when he heard Mo Qingyun's reply. He asked curiously, "Where are Han Yang and the others now? I didn't sense their presence when I was around the Tianyan mansion earlier. Where's Han Yang now?" A faint smile appeared on Mo Qingyun's face when he heard Ling Kai's question. He replied, "Han Yang and the others are already dead." They were already dead. Ling Kai and the others were shocked when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. Disbelief was written all over their faces. It should be known that Ling Zhua, who had attacked the Tianyan mansion with Han Yang and the others, had a cultivation base at the 4th level of the Divine Power Realm. Even Ling Zhua had been killed by Mo Qingyun. Didn't this mean that there was another powerhouse at the 4th level of the Divine Power Realm in the Tianyan mansion? In that case, wouldn't the Tianyan mansion have 3 Divine Power Realm powerhouses in addition to Qi Lian and the Demonic Beast powerhouse? After this discovery, Ling Kai and the others' understanding of the Tianyan mansion rose to a whole new level. The Tianyan mansion's strength was terrifying. No wonder Qingyun told us to come to the Tianyan mansion if the mystic ice palace can't keep us alive. At this moment, Zhuan Zhenzi and the others finally received a perfect answer to their confusion. With the Tianyan mansion's strength, they did not have to worry about the mystic ice palace's revenge. Boom, 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 boom. A few moments later, loud noises came from outside the mansion while Mo Qingyun and the others were talking. Someone was attacking the Tianyan mansion's formation. Everyone from the Tianyan mansion, get out here and accept your death. After the loud noises, a cold voice entered Mo Qingyun and the others' ears. Oh no, Nangongyu is here. Zhuan Zhenzi and the others were shocked when they heard this voice. Their expressions turned tense immediately. Nangongyu. A faint smile appeared on the corner of Mo Qingyun's mouth when he heard this. He said to Ling Kai and the others, "Uncle Ling, old ancestor Zhuan Zhenzi, since there are guests visiting the Tianyan mansion, please come with me to welcome them." The moment Mo Qingyun's words left his mouth, he no longer hesitated. He stood up and walked out of the conference hall. When Ling Kai and the others saw Mo Qingyun's action, they hesitated for a moment before they followed Mo Qingyun out. When Mo Qingyun walked out of the conference hall, Qi Lian walked over with a solemn expression on his face. He seemed to be deep in thought. When Mo Qingyun saw Qi Lian's expression, he immediately frowned. A familiar feeling rose in his heart. Chapter 787. Soon, Mo Qingyun and the others arrived outside the Tianyan Manor and faced off against Nangongyu and the others in the air. "It's Feng Huayun." Qi Lian's face lit up when he saw the middle-aged man beside Nangongyu. His doubts were answered. Master. When Qi Lian looked at Feng Huayun also looked at him. Immediately, a look of respect appeared on his face. Feng Huayun was about to bow to Qi Lian as a servant. "Huayun, don't act rashly. Don't reveal our relationship for now." Just as Feng Huayun was about to bow, a solemn soul sound transmission entered his mind. After receiving Qi Lian's soul message, Feng Huayun's face was filled with respect. He stopped bowing to Qi Lian. "Brother Feng, are you all right?" Seeing Feng Huayun's restlessness, Nangongyu asked with a concerned look on his face. I'm fine." When Feng Huayun heard this, he smiled awkwardly at Nangongyu and said perfunctorily. If one paid close attention to Feng Huayun, they would see that he was looking at Nangongyu with sympathy. Feng Huayun thought that Nangongyu was unlucky enough to offend Qi Lian of all people. Who was Qi Lian? He used to be second only to the 9 sovereigns in the Tianhan continent. Was he someone Nangongyu could afford to offend? Of course, Feng Huayun wouldn't tell Nangongyu about this. "Nangongyu, if you have a next life, be more careful in your next life." At this moment, Feng Huayun sighed in his heart. He had already regarded Nangongyu as a dead man. Patriarch Ling Mao, Patriarch Ling Rao. At this moment, Ling Kai suddenly saw Ling Mao and the others standing respectfully behind Nangong Yu. He was shocked. This scene was too abnormal. Ling Qiu and Ling Rao blushed when they heard Ling Kai's question. Their faces were full of shame. They looked away, not daring to meet Ling Kai's eyes. Ling Kai, you don't know, do you? Ling Mao and Ling Rao have already submitted to me. Looking at the surprised Ling Kai, Nangong Yu revealed a bright smile and said proudly, "You're right." "What? Ancestor Ling Mao and Ancestor Ling Mao have submitted to Nangong Yu?" Hearing Nangong Yu's words, Ling Kai's mind went blank. He couldn't believe it. This news was too sudden for him. Ling Kai's face was filled with excitement. He quickly asked Ling Mao and Ling Rao, "Ancestor Ling Mao, Ancestor Ling Rao, is this true?" "Sigh. The winner takes all. From today onwards, our Ling family will follow the Nangong family's every order." Hearing Ling Kai's question, Ling Mao and the other two sighed and said something shameful. They actually wanted Nangong Yu to submit to them. This was indeed a little hard to say. "Ling Kai, since you are a talent, as long as you are willing to submit to me, I can spare your life." Looking at the shocked Ling Kai, Nangong Yu smiled proudly and said in a deep voice, "Now, I will give you 10 breaths of time. Think about it carefully." After saying this to Ling Kai, Nangong Yu looked at Mo Qingyun and the others. Finally, Nangong Yu's gaze fell on Mo Qingyun. He smiled faintly and said, "Kid, you are Mo Qingyun, right? Everyone says that you are the second Nangong Yu. Now, I will give you a choice. Do you choose to submit to me or die?" "Submit to you?" Mo Qingyun looked at Nangong Yu with disdain. He shook his head and said, "Nangong Yu, I will also give you a chance now. Submit to me or die." "You are indeed as arrogant as the rumors say." Nangong Yu was not surprised by Mo Qingyun's behavior. He smiled mockingly and said, "Kid, do you think that you can fight me with the strength of Ling Kai and the others? You have to think carefully. I have 4 level 4 divine arts experts on my side. Nangong Yu, count carefully. How many level 4 divine power experts do you have on your side?" When Nangong Yu finished speaking, Qi Lian sneered and said to Feng Maiyun, "Maiyun, what are you standing there for? Come and greet the young lord." "The young lord?" Feng Maiyun was stunned when he heard Qi Lian's words. He unconsciously looked at Mo Qingyun. "Maiyun greets the young lord." Feng Maiyun did not hesitate any longer. He walked up to Mo Qingyun and bowed. "No need for formalities. Get up first." Seeing Feng Maiyun's actions, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and waved his hand. A trace of understanding rose in his heart. He thought to himself, so Qi Lian's earlier performance was because he sensed the existence of the blood slave, just like how he sensed Tang Zhan back then. At this moment, Mo Qingyun received a clear answer to his doubts. "Brother Feng Yu?" Nangong Yu was shocked when he saw Feng Maiyun's actions. He couldn't believe it. With Feng Maiyun's level 4 divine power cultivation, he was willing to be Qi Lian's servant. One had to know that Qi Lian was only at the peak of the 3rd level of the transcendent art. He was much weaker than Feng Maiyun. "Brother Nangong, since we've known each other for so many years, I'll give you a piece of advice. It's not too late to submit to the young lord." Feng Maiyun didn't respond to Nangong Yu's shocked words. Instead, he tried to persuade him sincerely. "You want me to submit to him?" Nangong Yu sneered when he heard Feng Maiyun's words. "Brother Feng, I didn't expect you to be such a coward. I misjudged you." Feng Maiyun didn't refute Nangong Yu's mockery. He only looked at him sympathetically and sighed. "Sigh, if you knew Master's identity in his past life, you wouldn't think that way." However, Feng Maiyun didn't say it out loud. He only cursed in his heart. Although he didn't know what caused Qi Lian's cultivation to drop to the peak of the 3rd level of the God Power Realm, he didn't know. However, he was sure that it was an honor to be Qi Lian's son's servant. Since Qi Lian asked Feng Maiyun to address Mo Qingyun as young lord, he mistakenly thought that Mo Qingyun was Qi Lian's son. "Young lord, master." From the way he addressed him, they were indeed father and son. As such, It was understandable that Feng Mayun would have such a misunderstanding. Of course, if Qi Lian and Mo Qingyun knew about this, they wouldn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mo Qingyun, even if Feng Mayun submits to you, you'll still die today. Nangonyu glanced at Feng Mayun with disdain. With a gloomy expression, he said coldly, Feng Mayun alone can't stop the three of us working together. Haha, is that so? Mo Qingyun smiled and moved He Xian out of He Xian Palace. Chapter 788. Divine Power Level 5. Everyone's expression changed when they sensed He Xian's aura. They were horrified. They had never imagined that there would be a 5th-level Divine Power Realm expert hidden in the Tianyin Mansion. Senior He Xian has made a breakthrough. Mo Qingyun was stunned when he sensed He Xian's aura. He was surprised that He Xian had made a breakthrough. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He looked at Nangonyu playfully and said, Nangonyu, do you still think you have the ability to kill us? Divine Power Level 5. Nangonyu's expression turned solemn when he sensed He Xian's aura. A strong sense of uneasiness rose in his heart. The Tianyin Manor actually had an expert at the 5th level of the Divine Power Realm. This was simply too surprising. In that case, their advantage was no longer obvious. In fact, they were at a disadvantage. So there's a Divine Power Level 5 powerhouse in the Tianyin Mansion. It's no wonder Patriarch Ling Zhuo was killed. Ling Kai could not help but sigh when he sensed He Xian's terrifying aura. He finally understood why Ling Zhuo was killed. However, Ling Kai did not resent Mo Qingyun for killing Ling Zhuo and the others. After all, Ling Zhuo and the others were the ones who wanted to kill Mo Qingyun. In the end, they were killed by Mo Qingyun. They could not blame anyone else for that. Moreover, Ling Kai had lost faith in the Mystic Eyes Palace after the incident with Han Yang. Ling Zhuo and the others had completely given up on him because of Mo Qingyun. Such a punishment was too severe. It was too heartless. Uncle Ling, Ancestor Zunzenzi, please wait here for a moment. I will deal with these intruders. After moving He Xian out of the He Xian Hall, Mo Qingyun instructed Ling Kai and the others before taking a step forward. He said to He Xian and the others in a deep voice, Senior He Xian, Qi Lian, Feng Mayun, follow me to kill the invaders. Yes, young lord. All right. When He Xian and the other two heard this, their expressions turned solemn as they nodded at Mo Qingyun. Senior He Xian, you go deal with the two ancestors of the Profound Eyes Palace. Feng Mayun, I'll leave the rest to you, except for Nangonyu. After instructing He Xian and Feng Mayun, Mo Qingyun looked at Nangonyu and said in a low voice, As for Nangonyu, leave him to me and Qi Lian. All right. Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, He Xian nodded in response. Immediately, his figure moved and attacked Ling Mao and Ling Rao. Compared to He Xian's decisiveness, Feng Mayun looked hesitant. He said to Mo Qingyun in a worried tone, Young lord, Nangonyu is in the late stage of God Power Tier 4. I'm afraid, Master, and I won't be able to deal with him. Why don't you let me deal with him? Mayun, don't worry. Since the young lord has arranged it this way, nothing will happen. Hearing Feng Mayun's words, before Mo Qingyun could explain, Qi Lian took the lead to console him. All right, I'll go deal with the others. Feng Mayun stopped thinking about it when he heard Qi Lian's words. His body moved as he charged toward the other people. In Feng Mayun's opinion, Qi Lian used to be an expert at the peak of God Power Tier. It wasn't impossible for him to fight someone above his level. Mo Qingyun, you're really arrogant. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was about to attack him, Nangonyu sneered coldly. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said, You're only in the Pill Palace realm, and you're at the peak of God Power Tier 3. You want to fight me? I think you're tired of living. Is that so? Mo Qingyun didn't take Nangonyu's confident words seriously. He smiled and attacked Nangonyu. Seal gate, seal for me. Then, a mini version of the light condensed in Mo Qingyun's hand and blasted toward Nangonyu. Perhaps Nangong Yu had underestimated his opponent too much. Before he could react, the sealed door had already hit him. Pucci. After being hit by the sealed door, Nangong Yu's face turned pale, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Then, his aura weakened rapidly. In the blink of an eye, he fell to the middle stage of God Power Tier 3. How? How could this be? How could my cultivation? Seeing that his cultivation had fallen to the middle stage of God Power Tier 3, Nangong Yu panicked. He was frightened by this scene. This was a battle of life and death. It was too frightening for his cultivation to suddenly fall to the next level. At this moment, Nangong Yu wasn't the only one who was shocked. Sealed cultivation. I didn't expect Mo Qingyun to have such a method. So the young lord has such a terrifying ability. No wonder he's so confident in killing Nangong Yu with Master. Mo Qingyun actually has such a method. In this case, unless an expert of God Power Tier 6 appears, no one will be able to shake the Tianyin manor. At this moment, everyone was shocked by Mo Qingyun's method. At this moment, while everyone was shocked, Mo Qingyun had a mocking smile on his face. He looked at Nangong Yu and said, Nangong Yu, do you still think that the two of us are tired of living? Qi Lian, merge with me. After asking Nangong Yu, Mo Qingyun merged with Qi Lian without waiting for Nangong Yu's reply. Then, Mo Qingyun's aura rose rapidly. In the blink of an eye, it reached the peak of God Power Tier 3. Blood Rage. After fusing with Qi Lian, Mo Qingyun used his martial soul super ability, Blood Qi Berserk, to increase his strength. Following that, Mo Qingyun's originally stabilized aura rose again, reaching the 4th level of the God Art Realm. God Power Tier 4. Mo Qingyun's cultivation had actually reached the 4th level of the Divine Ability Realm. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, the expressions of Ling Kai and the others changed again, and a storm rose in their hearts. How? How is this possible? Mo Qingyun merged with the red-haired elder. Not only that, but he also used a method to increase his cultivation after merging with the red-haired elder. Young Lord is too terrifying. He has such a shocking method. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Ling Kai and the others were shocked again. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. God Power Tier 4. Sensing Mo Qingyun's aura, Nangong Yu's face was filled with fear. His face turned extremely pale. He would never have dreamed that his and Mo Qingyun's identities would be switched in the blink of an eye. Judging from the current situation, he was in a bad situation. Bang, bang, bang. While Mo Qingyun and Nangong Yu were confronting each other, He Xian and Feng Moyin's battle was in full swing. With a huge difference in strength, the battle between the two of them had almost become a one-sided massacre. Seeing this, Nangong Yu's face immediately turned pale, and his heart sank to the bottom. Nangong Yu, don't look to the side. No one can save you. Chapter 789. Heavenly Flame, Sky-Breaking Halberd. After saying this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He swung the Scorching Flame halberd at Nangong Yu. The moment the halberd struck out, a terrifying heat wave erupted and transformed into a crimson dragon-shaped halberd radiance. Once the dragon-shaped halberd radiance was formed, it left behind a crimson rainbow and swooped down toward Nangong Yu with its dragon claws. 7-star Devil Curse Fist. Facing Mo Qingyun's attack, Nangong Yu did not dare to hesitate and quickly counterattacked. When Nangong Yu's fist landed, a cold Yuan power burst out from his fist. The chilling Yuan energy turned into ferocious skeletal fist shadows and rushed toward the dragon-shaped halberd radiance. Bang, 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 bang. The dragon-shaped halberd radiance and the skeletal fist shadows exploded and formed a terrifying Yuan energy storm. Mo Qingyun and Nangong Yu retreated repeatedly in the face of this storm of elemental energy. They quickly dodged the impact of this storm of elemental energy. Xiaoza Heavenly Spirit Finger. In action, Heaven Concealing Finger. While Mo Qingyun was being pushed back by the shockwave, he did not forget to continue attacking. He struck out 2 consecutive fingers at Nangongyu. Then, the wind and clouds in the sky stirred, and the sky changed color, forming a terrifying Yuan energy vortex. After the formation of the Yuan energy vortex, a huge black finger flew out with a terrifying aura. As soon as the giant black finger flew out, it shot toward Nangongyu at lightning speed. What? What a powerful attack! Nangongyu's face twitched in fear as he faced the attack of Shaoza Heavenly Spirit Finger. At the same time, he did not dare to hesitate and immediately counterattacked. Then, Nangongyu threw out another punch and blasted out several skeletal fish shadows. Bang! Then, the skeletal fish shadows collided with the huge finger, creating a loud bang and setting off a terrifying force storm. However, what Nangongyu did not expect was that when he blocked the giant black finger, a terrifying finger force hit him. Puff! Under the powerful force, Nangongyu was sent flying. He spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face turned pale. How is this possible? I clearly blocked your finger attack. Nangongyu's face was filled with disbelief and confusion. He could not believe that this was real. He had clearly blocked the finger attack that was aimed at him, yet he was still heavily injured by the attack. This was simply too bizarre. Under Mo Qingyun's powerful finger attack, Nangongyu was seriously injured and his aura weakened again. Due to the continuous attacks, Mo Qingyun's body could not bear the burden, and he was released from the fusion state. Qilian, I'll leave the rest to you. Mo Qingyun's face was slightly pale as he spoke to Qilian after he was released from the merged state. With his current cultivation level, he's fusing with Qilian, who is at the peak of the 3rd level divine power realm. Yes. Hearing this, Qilian nodded coldly and quickly approached Nangongyu. He said coldly, Nangongyu, I've broken through to the 4th level of the divine power realm. I'm still lacking some nourishment for my cultivation. You could become my nourishment. Hearing Qilian's words, Feng Maoyun's body trembled. His face was filled with fear. He had followed Qilian for many years and naturally understood what he meant. He was going to refine Nangongyu. At this moment, while Feng Maoyun was panicking, a huge 9-headed demonic dragon appeared in the sky above Qilian. This was Qilian's treasure elephant, the immemorial 9 underworld demonic dragon. Master's treasure elephant. It's even stronger than the previous one. Seeing Qilian's god art treasure elephant, Feng Maoyun's expression immediately froze, revealing a strong sense of surprise. He clearly remembered that Qilian's treasure elephant was the true body of the 7 Fiends' blood demonic dragon. Now, it had become the immemorial 9 underworld demonic dragon that was more than 100 times stronger than the 7 Fiends' blood demonic dragon. This was too strange. Dance of the Dragons. At this moment, under Feng Maoyun's shocked expression, Qilian performed his treasure elephant superpower. Then, one by one, the ferocious and eerie dragon heads attacked Nangongyu. They bared their fangs and brandished their claws. Demonic Skull Chain. Facing the attack of Qilian's treasure elephant, Nangongyu did not dare to hold back. He immediately performed his treasure elephant superpower. Then, a chain formed by countless skulls appeared in front of him and wrapped around the dragon heads that were attacking him. However, Nangongyu underestimated the power of Qilian's treasure elephant superpower. When the demonic skull chain collided with the treasure elephant superpower, it was instantly crushed. Crack, crack, crack. Following the clear sound of bones cracking, the demonic puppet chain began to shatter bit by bit. Finally, it disappeared from the world. After the treasure elephant superpower crushed the demonic skull chain, their attacks did not stop. They continued to bite Nangongyu. Then, everyone saw a tragic scene. They saw Nangongyu being bitten to death by countless dragon heads. Nangongyu was dead. Seeing that Nangongyu was killed by Qilian, Ling Mao and the others' expressions changed. They were horrified. Stop! Stop! We're willing to submit to the Tianyan mansion. Seeing that Nangongyu was killed, Ling Mao and the others no longer risked their lives to resist. They quickly submitted to Mo Qingyun. They did not sincerely submit to Nan Gongyu. It was only because Nan Gongyu had forcefully planted a soul imprint in them. Since their lives were in Nan Gongyu's hands, they had no choice but to fight alongside him. Now that Nan Gongyu was killed by Qi Lian, the soul imprint in their soul imprints was removed. Naturally, they did not have to continue fighting. Although Ling Mao and the others surrendered, there were still a few of Nan Gongyu's subordinates who resisted with all their might. However, they suffered the same fate as Nan Gongyu. They were all killed by He Xian and Feng Maiyun. After Nan Gongyu and the others were killed, the battle came to an end. Release your souls. I want to plant a soul imprint in them. Looking at the avatars of Ling Mao and the others, Mo Qingyun had a cold expression on his face as he coldly ordered them. Plant a soul imprint. When they heard Mo Qingyun's request, Ling Mao and the others were shocked. A hint of reluctance appeared in their eyes. Mo Qingyun, we are the ancestors of mysterious Ice Palace. We are also your seniors. Can you not plant a soul imprint in us? After a brief moment of hesitation, Ling Kuang revealed an unwilling expression and made a request to Mo Qingyun. If you want to end up like Nan Gongyu, you don't have to plant a soul imprint in us. Mo Qingyun replied coldly to Ling Mao's request. He exuded a killing intent and said, if it were not for the fact that you are the ancestors and elders of mysterious Ice Palace, do you think I would waste my breath on you? Chapter 790. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ling Mao and the others did not dare to hesitate and release their souls. A moment later, Mo Qingyun planted a soul imprint in the souls of Ling Mao and the others. Qi Lian, go to Sky Feather Mountain with Feng Maiyun, Ling Mao, and Ling Mao. From today onwards, there is no need for Sky Feather Mountain. After planting a soul mark in Ling Mao and the others, Mo Qingyun instructed Qi Lian and the others to go and destroy Sky Feather Mountain. Yes, young lord. Qi Lian and the others revealed solemn expressions when they heard Mo Qingyun's instructions, and they hurriedly nodded in response. Then, Qi Lian took out some cosmos bags and handed them to Mo Qingyun. He said, young lord, these are Nan Gongyu and the others' cosmos bags. Looking at the cosmos bags that Qi Lian handed over, Mo Qingyun nodded indifferently and took the cosmos bags from Qi Lian's hands. After that, Mo Qingyun instructed Qi Lian and the others before asking them to set out for Skyfeather Mountain. Young man, my cultivation has just broken through to level 5 divine power. I will go back to He Xian Palace to stabilize my cultivation. Seeing that everything was settled, He Xian instructed Mo Qingyun and entered He Xian Palace. Seeing He Xian suddenly disappear, Ling Kai and the others were all shocked, their faces showing strong surprise. However, they did not ask. After all, it might be related to Mo Qingyun's secret. All right, everyone, let's go in. Seeing that everything was settled, Mo Qingyun waved at the others and walked into Tianyin Mansion. Tang Zhan, arrange a place for everyone to stay. After entering Tianyin Mansion, Mo Qingyun instructed Tang Zhan. Then he said to the Peak Master and elders of Dark Ice Palace, in the battle earlier, all of you were injured. Follow Tang Zhan to rest and heal your injuries. Yes, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's command, everyone showed a respectful expression, and they left with a sound of acknowledgement. Qingyun, we're going to visit Xin Tian and the others. We'll head to the side residence first. At this time, Xian Jinzi and the others walked up to Mo Qingyun and gave Mo Qingyun some instructions before they headed to the Tianyin Mansion side mansion. Qingyun, take me to see Ling Er. After Zun Zenzi and the others had left, Ling Kai made a request with an expectant expression. All right. Hearing this, Mo Qingyun nodded and gestured to Ling Kai. Uncle Ling, come with me. Not long after, with Mo Qingyun leading the way, the three of them arrived at Mo Ling's residence. At this time, Yu Qian Yi and Mo Yuru were both sitting in Mo Ling's small courtyard. Ling Er, seeing Mo Ling in the small courtyard, Ling Kai had an excited expression on his face as he quickly walked toward Mo Ling. Yu Qian greets the palace master. Seeing Ling Kai walking toward him, Yu Qian had a respectful expression on his face as he quickly bowed to Ling Kai. There's no need for formalities. I'm no longer the palace master. You can just call me by my name in the future. Seeing Yu Qian's action, Ling Kai smiled bitterly and shook his head as he spoke calmly. He had heard about the matter between Yu Qian and Mo Yuru before. Now that he saw Mo Yuru and Yu Qian sitting together, he was certain that the rumors were true. In that case, Yu Qian could be considered as Mo Ling's adoptive father. He could be considered as someone of the same generation as Mo Ling. In that case, Mo Ling naturally could not continue to put on airs as the palace master in front of Yu Qian. Moreover, now that the Mystic Ice Palace was no more, he was even less of a palace master. Why are you here? I don't want to see you. Looking at Ling Kai, who was walking in front of him, Mo Ling showed a distant expression and said coldly. Seeing Mo Ling's reaction, Ling Kai could not help but frown, and the guilt on his face became more intense. It seemed that his previous action of forcing Mo Ling to marry Han Yang had completely broken Mo Ling's heart. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun and the others immediately found an excuse and quickly left Mo Ling's small courtyard. In Mo Qingyun and the others' opinion, Mo Ling and Ling Kai must have a lot to talk about, so they should leave this place to the two of them. After leaving Mo Ling's small courtyard, Mo Qingyun returned to his residence and entered Hexian Palace to prepare to cultivate. After entering Hexian Palace, Missouri Qingyun took out the Chinquin bags of Nangong Yu and the others and opened them one by one to check. Nangong Yu was the mountain master of Sky Feather Mountain, so his collection was naturally very rich. The amount of items in his Chinquin bag far exceeded Mo Qingyun's imagination. This is the Flaming Sun split fruit, water, moist seaweed. With these ingredients, I can refine the myriad manifestation divine power elixir. Looking at the ingredients in the Chinquin bag, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised and began a plan in his heart. The myriad manifestation divine power elixir was an elixir that could raise the cultivation of a Heaven Star realm expert and condense a divine power treasure image. If he could refine such an elixir, he could create a group of divine power realm experts and allow the Tianyin Manor strength to improve qualitatively. Once the Tianyin Manor had a large group of divine power realm experts to protect them, they would truly have the ability to protect themselves in the Jin province. After carefully putting away the ingredients, Mo Qingyun continued to check the Chinquin bags, sorting out the items in Nangong Yu and the others' Chinquin bags. After a while, the two types of crystals in Nangong Yu's Chinquin bag attracted Mo Qingyun's attention, and he immediately became delighted. This is the Heavenly Thunder Fire Stone and the Heavenly Squall Wind Essence. Looking at the silver and green crystals in the Chinquin bag, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised and impatient. He said, with the help of the Heavenly Thunder Fire Stone and the Heavenly Squall Wind Essence, my power of wind and lightning can quickly reach the great perfection level. Then, Mo Qingyun put away the Heavenly Thunder Fire Stone and the Heavenly Squall Wind Essence and continued to look through the other items. After several hours, Mo Qingyun finally finished sorting out the Chinquin bags of Nangong Yu and the others. Since that's the case, it's time to refine the Heavenly Thunder Fire Stone and the Heavenly Squall Wind Essence to increase the power of wind and lightning. Seeing that everything was sorted out, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and took out the Heavenly Thunder Fire Stone and the Heavenly Squall Wind Essence. Devouring Gate, devour. After taking out the Heavenly Thunder Fire Stone and the Heavenly Squall Wind Essence, Mo Qingyun used the Devouring Gate to devour and refine the Heavenly Thunder Fire Stone and the Heavenly Squall Wind Essence. Under the devouring of the Devouring Gate, the Heavenly Thunder Fire Stone and the Heavenly Squall Wind Essence turned into strands of silver and green streams that were sucked into the Devouring Gate. After devouring the Heavenly Thunder Fire Stone and the Heavenly Squall Wind Essence, The devouring gate condensed and transformed them, and finally sent them into Mo Qingyun's body. With the help of the devouring gate, Mo Qingyun's power of wind and lightning immediately rose rapidly. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun worked even harder to cultivate. He planned to cultivate the power of wind and lightning to the great perfection level in one go. Chapter 791. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. In the cultivation room of Heixian Hall, Mo Qingyun, who had been cultivating, slowly opened his eyes. My wind and lightning power have entered the complete realm. Seeing the harvest of this half a month of cultivation, Mo Qingyun's face revealed a joyful smile. He thought to himself, "Next, as long as I can let the power of life and death enter the perfect level, my cultivation can break through to the Heaven Dipper realm." After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun's eyes suddenly lit up. He was looking forward to it and said to himself, "The longevity road and the undying cliff in the martial spirit world contain the life and death ultimacy. I wonder if there's a deeper place that contains the life and death power." Light Gate Martial Spirit appear. As soon as this thought appeared, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately summoned his Light Gate Martial Soul. After summoning his Light Gate Martial Spirit, Mo Qingyun's body moved and entered the martial spirit world. Then, Mo Qingyun walked into the inner part of the longevity road and quickly came to the bottom of the undying cliff. When Mo Qingyun came to the bottom of the undying cliff, he saw a cave that emitted a shocking death power. The death power in this cave is infinitely close to the death power. Sensing the power of death emanating from the cave, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He pondered and guessed, could it be that this cave contains the power of death? After thinking about it, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately walked into the cave. As Mo Qingyun walked into the cave, the death power in it became more and more intense. The power of death. There is indeed the death power in this cave. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's face immediately lit up with joy, and a feeling of excitement rose in his heart. In this way, he could borrow the power of death in the cave to cultivate and raise his own power of death. Devouring Gate, devour. Then, Mo Qingyun stopped thinking about it and immediately sat down cross-legged. He displayed the devouring gate and started to cultivate. Under the devouring of the gate of devouring, the power of death in the surroundings was immediately devoured by the gate of devouring. With the help of the devouring gate, Mo Qingyun's death power realm increased rapidly. "Young lord, we are back." After an unknown period of time, a soul transmission appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind and woke him up from his cultivation. "Qi Lian is back." Hearing the soul transmission in his mind, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly and he stopped cultivating. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed as he returned to his room from his martial spirit world. He opened the door and walked out. "Young lord." When they saw Mo Qingyun walk out of the room, Qi Lian and the others, who were waiting outside, immediately bowed respectfully. "No need to be so courteous. Come and sit down." When he saw the actions of Qi Lian and the others, Mo Qingyun waved his hand with a faint smile and walked towards the stone bench in the small courtyard. Seeing this, Qi Lian and the others followed behind Mo Qingyun. They all walked to the side of the stone bench and sat down. "Young lord, when we went to destroy Sky Feather Mountain, we accidentally let Nangong Yu's wife escape." After Qi Lian sat down, he reported the situation to Mo Qingyun with a grave expression. He said, "I heard that Nangong Yu's wife, Li Yunshan, is the disciple of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion Master. If she asks for help from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion Master, I'm afraid there will be trouble. This time, I was careless and forgot about Nangong Yu's wife, Li Yunshan. Young lord, please punish me." After Qi Lian finished speaking, Feng Mayun looked guilty. He half knelt in front of Mo Qingyun and asked for punishment. "Get up first. The most important thing now is not to punish you, but to deal with the heavenly cloud pavilion. When Mo Qingyun saw Feng Huayun's actions, he waved his hand calmly. He turned his head and looked at Ling Mao. He asked, Ling Mao, your mysterious ice palace has been in Jin province for many years. I'm sure you have a good understanding of the heavenly cloud pavilion. Tell me more about the heavenly cloud pavilion. Yes, young lord. Ling Mao nodded and reported to Mo Qingyun with a grave expression. There are many big and small sects in Jin province. However, there are only 9 sects that are truly powerful. They are the 3 heavenly pavilions, the 3 mysterious halls, and the 3 supreme palaces. My mysterious ice palace is one of the 3 supreme palaces. Ling Mao paused, and his expression became more serious. He continued, the heavenly cloud pavilion is one of the 3 heavenly pavilions. Not only that, the heavenly cloud pavilion is the #1 sect in Jin province. Its strength far surpasses the other 8 super sections. It is not something that my mysterious ice palace can compare with. Oh, I didn't expect the heavenly cloud pavilion to be so powerful. After hearing Ling Mao's words, Mo Qingyun frowned and asked Ling Mao, do you know the strength of the heavenly cloud pavilion's palace master? Ling Mao's expression turned grave when he heard Mo Qingyun mention the heavenly cloud pavilion's pavilion master's cultivation. He said in a deep voice, I don't know the exact cultivation of the heavenly cloud pavilion's pavilion master, Yang Taiyan. However, I remember that 800 years ago, Yang Taiyan's cultivation had broken through to the 6th level of the divine ability. Now that 800 years have passed, I don't know if his cultivation has broken through to the 7th level of the divine ability. 800 years ago, he was already at the 6th level of the divine ability. It seems like the heavenly cloud pavilion is indeed extraordinary. After hearing Ling Mao's words, Mo Qingyun frowned and a sense of crisis rose in his heart. If that was the case, it would be very difficult for the Tianyan mansion to fight against the heavenly cloud pavilion with their current strength. However, although the heavenly cloud pavilion was powerful, Mo Qingyun was not afraid. If the heavenly cloud pavilion really came to invade, he did not mind fighting with them as long as he was given enough time. Not to mention a small heavenly cloud pavilion. Even if it was a supreme sect, he would still fight them. After all, Mo Qingyun's 3 enemies in his previous life were all at the supreme realm. Since Mo Qingyun even planned to wipe out the 3 supreme sects, why would he be afraid of a small heavenly cloud pavilion? Moreover, He Xian's cultivation had broken through to the 5th level of the divine ability. Even if they were to face Yang Taiyan, they would still have the power to resist. While Mo Qingyun was pondering, Feng Huayun and the others had a grave expression on their faces. It seemed that the powerful strength of the heavenly cloud pavilion had brought them great pressure. Don't worry, everyone. Although the heavenly cloud pavilion is powerful, we are not completely powerless. Looking at the grave expressions of Feng Huayun and the others, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said some words of comfort. If they insist on invading the Tianyan mansion, I don't mind making sure they never return. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Feng Huayun and the others' expressions turned better, but they were still a little worried. Obviously, they did not completely believe Mo Qingyun's words. Chapter 792. Young Lord, we've been away from the mysterious ice palace for many days. If we don't return soon, I'm afraid the mysterious ice palace will be invaded. At this moment, Ling Mao said worriedly with a solemn expression. He suggested to Mo Qingyun, I feel that young lord should head to the mysterious ice palace as soon as possible to take charge of the situation. Otherwise, the mysterious ice palace will be taken over by others. The mysterious ice palace has been in Jin province for thousands of years and has a strong foundation. It would be a pity if other sects took over. Hearing Ling Mao's worried words, Mo Qingyun frowned and nodded. He pondered for a while and said, if that's the case, let's go back and make preparations. We'll set off for the mysterious ice palace in 3 days. Yes, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Everyone immediately nodded in agreement. Next, Mo Qingyun gave a few more instructions to everyone before letting them leave the small courtyard. After everyone left the small courtyard, Mo Qingyun didn't stay any longer. He got up and walked out of the small courtyard. After leaving his small courtyard, Mo Qingyun went to the residence of Mo Hongtian and the others. He was prepared to inform them about the matter of going to the mysterious ice palace. Now that a hidden danger like the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion had appeared, Mo Qingyun was still worried about the Mo family staying in the Tianyan mansion. After all, the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion was very powerful. The Tianyan mansion's array might not be able to stop them. In order to ensure the safety of the Mo family, Mo Qingyun decided to bring everyone to the mysterious ice palace. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at Mo Hongtian's courtyard. Coincidentally, Du Luo and the others were also there. With the help of a large amount of cultivation resources, Du Luo and the others' cultivation had reached the peak of the Dan Palace realm. With the help of the 9-twist star-breaking pill that Mo Qingyun gave them, it wouldn't be a problem for them to break through to the Heaven Star realm. Qingyun, you're here. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk into the courtyard, Du Luo and the others smiled faintly and hurriedly greeted Mo Qingyun. Grandfather, Master, City Lord Wan. After Mo Qingyun approached, he nodded at Mo Hongtian and the others and sat down beside them. After sitting down beside them, Mo Qingyun did not beat around the bush and directly said, Grandfather, Master, City Governor Wan. Earlier, I discussed with Qi Lian and the others and decided to move the clan to the Mystic Ice Palace. Now, I've specially come to inform you. Move to the Mystic Ice Palace. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Hongtian and the others were shocked. They were greatly shocked by Mo Qingyun's words. They had some understanding of the mysterious ice palace and knew that it was a powerful sect. Back then, a bathing peak in the profound ice palace had caused them to fall into a desperate situation. Now, Mo Qingyun actually said that he wanted them to move to the profound ice palace to cultivate. This was simply too shocking. The origin energy in the profound ice palace is more abundant. If everyone cultivates there, it will be twice the result with half the effort. Seeing the shocked faces of Mo Hongtian and the others, Mo Qingyun explained to them. However, he did not tell them the real reason. After all, the matter of making an enemy out of the Sky Cloud Palace was a little too frightening. If Mo Hongtian and the others knew about it, they would inevitably be worried. Therefore, Mo Qingyun did not intend to tell them. Qingyun, although it's good to cultivate in the profound ice palace, it's not our Mo clan's residence after all. What if, hearing Mo Qingyun's explanation, Mo Hongtian still had a heavy expression on his face and said worriedly, currently, Mo Hongtian and the others did not know that the entire profound ice palace was under Mo Qingyun's control. Therefore, when he heard Mo Qingyun's words, he said such worriedly, Old clan leader Mo is right. A golden nest or a silver nest can't compare to our dirt nest. I also think it's better to stay in the Tianyan mansion. That's right. Although our cultivation speed is a little slower in the Tianyan mansion, at least we can cultivate with a clear conscience. Moreover, there's the time shift formation that you set up in the Tianyan mansion. Our cultivation speed is not slow. With regard to Mo Hongtian's worries, Du Luo and the others nodded unceasingly, expressing their agreement. Grandfather, now that the profound ice palace is under my control, you don't have to worry about it. Seeing the worries of Mo Hongtian and the others, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said those words to reassure them. The profound ice palace is under my control. When Mo Qingyun said that, Mo Hongtian and the others were instantly stunned. Their mouths were wide open and they were speechless. This news was simply too shocking. A sect as powerful as the profound ice palace was actually under Mo Qingyun's control. This was simply too unbelievable. If that's the case, there's no need for us to stay in the Tianyan mansion when there's a good place for us to stay. After a brief moment of shock, Mo Hong Tian laughed heartily as a carefree feeling rose in his heart. It was the greatest blessing in his life to have such a grandson. Brother Hong Tian, you're really lucky to have given birth to such a good grandson. That's right. If my Wan clan also had such a junior, how great would that be? For a moment, Wan Lianyun and the others were filled with envy as they sighed emotionally. When Mo Hong Tian heard their words, a gratified smile appeared on his face. He shook his head and said, Lianyun, brother Du Luo, now that we're all family, don't you think you're treating us as outsiders? Haha, that's true. Wan Lianyun and the others were stunned when they heard Mo Hong Tian's words. Then they burst out laughing. Mo Hong Tian was right. With their current relationship, it no longer mattered who Mo Qingyun's junior was. When Mo Qingyun saw that he had settled everything, he chatted with Mo Hong Tian and the others for a while before he left Mo Hong Tian's small courtyard. After leaving Mo Hong Tian and the others' courtyard, Mo Qingyun did not return to his residence. Instead, he went to Long Rulin's residence. He intended to instruct Long Rulin to make a trip to the Long clan so that the people from the Long clan could follow him to the profound ice palace. After hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Long Rulin did not hesitate and immediately headed to the Long clan's residence. Mo Qingyun returned to his residence after he had finished explaining everything to Yang Kai. After returning to his room, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed as he entered his martial spirit world to cultivate. The most important thing for Mo Qingyun now was to raise his cultivation as soon as possible. Devouring Gate. When he arrived at the Undying Cliffs Cave, Mo Qingyun unleashed the Devouring Gate to devour and refine the power of death in the cave. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Level 4 Power of Death. At this moment, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating as a surprised smile appeared on his face. He thought to himself, if this continues, my power of death will be complete within 10 days. After sighing in his heart, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and returned to his room. Chapter 793. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived outside the Tianyan mansion. Qi Lian and the rest had already packed up and were waiting for him outside the Tianyan mansion. There were also many people from other families standing beside Qi Lian and the rest. They were all families that had a good relationship with the Tianyan mansion. When they found out that the Tianyan mansion was moving to Flame Capital, they had specially come to bid farewell and send them off. Nephew Qingyun, I haven't seen you in a while. Your cultivation has improved a lot. Yi Jingtian walked to Mo Qingyun and sighed. He couldn't help but mock himself. I think it won't be long before your cultivation surpasses mine. Hee, no matter what my cultivation is in the future, you will always be my Uncle Yi. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at Yi Jingtian's self-deprecating words and comforted him. Mo Qingyun had a good impression of Yi Jingtian. Back then, when the Tianyan mansion was being suppressed by the Lung family, it was all thanks to Yi Jingtian's intervention. Haha, I'm satisfied with your words. Yi Jingtian revealed a carefree smile when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He patted Mo Qingyun's shoulder and laughed mischievously. Nephew, I can't control Wuyo anymore. Look, when are you going to take her in? Mo Qingyun was speechless when he heard Yi Jingtian's words. He didn't know what to say. Yi Jingtian was even more pleased when he saw Mo Qingyun's defeated expression. He said, Wuyo and the last from the Long family are good sisters. Now that the last from the Long family isn't by your side, isn't it good to let Wuyo accompany you? Mo Qingyun was speechless when he heard this. You have such a shocking talent in cultivation. Why are you so stubborn in love? Yi Jingtian couldn't help but feel disappointed when he saw Mo Qingyun's depressed expression. He couldn't help but sigh. Qingyun, it seems like you still have to learn more about love. You have to go through more training in a few academies. There are academies for training. Mo Qingyun was stunned when he heard Yi Jingtian's words. He didn't understand what Yi Jingtian meant. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was puzzled. Ling Luo was helpless. He shook his head and walked over. He sighed. Boss, you don't even know this. You were such a failure. You know, seeing Ling Luo's behavior, Mo Qingyun glared at him fiercely and asked in a displeased tone. Of course. Ling Luo patted his chest as though it was a matter of course. He raised his head and said proudly, the academy that Uncle Yi mentioned isn't like the Great Yin Martial Academy that teaches martial arts. Instead, it's an academy for us men and women. Ling Luo paused for a while before he continued. According to Uncle Yi, you want you to find a few more women to train you in love. For example, senior sister Wuyo is the best choice. Mo Qingyun was speechless again. Yi Jingtian had been beating around the bush for a long time. He was still referring to this. Brother Ling Luo is still the most experienced. Nephew Qingyun, you have to learn from Brother Ling Luo. Yi Jingtian immediately praised Ling Luo when he heard his explanation. He then gave Mo Qingyun an encouraging look. Mo Qingyun immediately understood Yi Jingtian's intention when he saw his expression. He wanted him to settle Yi Wuyo immediately. This could be considered as following orders to pick up girls. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun smiled helplessly. He took out a jade bottle and passed it to Yi Jingtian. He changed the topic. Uncle Yi, there are some 9 songs breakthrough elixirs and Cloud River True elixirs in this bottle. In the future, you can give them to the talented juniors of the Yi family to increase their chances of breaking through to the Heaven Star Border Realm. 9 songs breakthrough elixirs and Cloud River True elixirs. Seeing the jade bottle that Mo Qingyun passed to him, Yi Jingtian was shocked. His expression was filled with excitement. At this moment, he finally knew why the Long family's strength had increased so much in such a short period of time. With the help of such elixirs, it would be difficult for the Long family not to become stronger. Then, Yi Jingtian looked at Mo Qingyun with even more fervor. In his opinion, if Mo Qingyun became his son-in-law, the Yi family strength would increase rapidly. Moreover, a father knows his daughter best. After observing Yi Wuyo, he realized that Yi Wuyo was secretly in love with Mo Qingyun. Then, Yi Jingtian turned to look at Yi Wuyo. He gave Mo Qingyun an encouraging look and said, Wuyo, Qingyun is about to leave Yin City. Don't you have anything to say to him? Hearing Yi Jingtian's words, Yi Wuyo revealed a shy expression and slowly walked towards Mo Qingyun. Junior brother Mo, will you return to the Black Ice Palace in the future? Yi Wuyo came to Mo Qingyun. The corners of her eyes were slightly red as she said these words of reluctance. Of course I will return. However, if senior sister Wuyo needs me, you can come to the Black Ice Palace anytime. Hearing Yi Wuyo's words, Mo Qingyun replied with a faint smile. He pretended not to understand Yi Wuyo's hidden meaning. Boss, your words are too unreliable. At this moment, Ling Luo curled his lips and said nonchalantly, in the past, when the Mo family was still in Yin City, you rarely returned to the Tianyin mansion. I'm afraid you will return even less now. I just want to ask, can you bring me along? Mo Qingyun and Yi Wuyo were speechless. This brat had been blabbering for half a day just for this. Don't you need to stay in Dian province to cultivate? In response to Ling Luo's request, Mo Qingyun smiled helplessly and asked him a question. Cultivate. Hearing Mo Qingyun mention cultivation, Ling Luo couldn't help but smile awkwardly. Then, he said righteously, for a genius like me, anywhere is a good place to cultivate. Furthermore, since I have the chance to go to the prefecture to pick up beauties, why should I stay in this small empire? Boss, can you bring me along? Then let's go together. Hearing Ling Luo's twisted logic, Mo Qingyun was immediately defeated and nodded in agreement. Seeing that Ling Luo wanted to go with Mo Qingyun, Yi Wuyo immediately revealed an envious expression. There was a trace of hesitation on her face, as if she was struggling with whether she should go with Mo Qingyun or not. Senior sister Wuyo, why don't you come with us too? Seeing Yi Wuyo's expression, Mo Qingyun immediately understood what she was thinking and invited her to join him. Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yi Wuyo immediately smiled. Her face was filled with excitement and joy, and the corners of her eyes flashed. In Yi Wuyo's opinion, Mo Qingyun taking the initiative to invite her to the mystic ice palace meant that Mo Qingyun still cared about her a lot. Big brother, Wuyo seems to have been abducted by that brat Qingyun. Hearing the conversation between Yi Wuyo and Mo Qingyun, Yi Jinglei couldn't help but smile bitterly. He couldn't help but sigh. So this brat isn't stupid. We've been tricked. Hearing Yi Jinglei's words, Yi Jingtian immediately revealed a gloomy expression. He felt that he had been tricked. However, this situation was what he wanted to see. Chapter 794. On the way to the mysterious ice palace, Missouri Qingyun briefed everyone before he entered the martial spirit world to cultivate. However, before Mo Qingyun entered the martial spirit world, he sent Qi Lian and the rest to He Xian Palace for them to cultivate. After entering the martial spirit world, Mo Qingyun did not waste any time and headed straight to the cave at the Undying Cliff. Devouring Gate. As soon as he entered the Undying Cliff's cave, Mo Qingyun activated the gate of devouring to devour and refine the death energy inside the cave. Under Mo Qingyun's continuous devouring and refining, his death energy level rose rapidly. In the blink of an eye, 2 days passed. Death energy level 5. Seeing that his death energy level had risen, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised. He slowly opened his eyes and said to himself, "The intensity of the death energy here is not enough for me to raise my level. It seems like I have to go deeper into the cave." After thinking about it this way, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He got up and went deeper into the cave. After Mo Qingyun walked for a while, a pool filled with black mist appeared before him. What a shocking death energy! Sensing the intensity of the might of death in the pool, Mo Qingyun revealed a shocked expression and sighed inwardly. It seems that the might of death in this cave is coming from this pool. Devouring Gate, devour. After discovering that, Mo Qingyun activated the Devouring Gate to devour the death energy in the pool. Because the power of death in the pool was so strong, the speed at which Mo Qingyun's power of death increased exponentially. In the following time, Mo Qingyun cultivated quietly by the pool to raise his death energy level. Following that, as Mo Qingyun's might of death increased in level, he kept moving closer to the pool. In the end, he directly dove into the pool to cultivate. Just like that, about 10 days passed. Mo Qingyun, who was in the midst of cultivation, suddenly felt the power of death radiating from him rise to a whole new level. The power of death has reached perfection. Seeing that his power of death had increased, Mo Qingyun immediately revealed a look of joy, and he excitedly opened his eyes. After more than 10 days of cultivation, his might of death had finally reached perfection. After a brief moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of anticipation. He began to plan in his heart. Next, as long as I can perfect my power of life, I can break through to the Heaven Star border realm. The bottom of this pool. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's expression suddenly changed as he sensed a power that opposed the power of death emanating from the bottom of the cold pond. This is the power of life. After sensing for a while, Mo Qingyun was shocked and quickly dived to the bottom of the pool. As Mo Qingyun dived deeper, the power of life in the pool became stronger. The extreme of life is death, and the extreme of death is life. Life and death are intertwined. Sensing the situation in the pool, Mo Qingyun's expression changed as he vaguely understood something. Following that, Mo Qingyun increased his speed and dived to the bottom of the cold pond. After an unknown period of time, a bright light appeared in front of Mo Qingyun, and it was so bright that Mo Qingyun could not open his eyes. There was a completely different world at the bottom of the pool. This discovery surprised Mo Qingyun. After a while, Mo Qingyun dived out of the cold pond and came to an endless dense forest. This is Looking at the lush forest in front of him, Mo Qingyun had a puzzled look on his face. He looked around curiously. After looking around for a while, two stone steels attracted his attention. Undying Pool, Everlasting Forest. Looking at the words on the two stone tablets, Mo Qingyun pondered and began to guess. He thought to himself, could it be that the pool and the forest are the undying pool and everlasting forest? After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun did not think about it anymore. He smiled faintly and said, no matter where the pool and the forest are, the forest in front of me contains a strong power of life. With the help of this forest, my power of life will soon reach the perfect realm. Devouring Gate. After a short moment of pondering, Mo Qingyun became excited and began to devour and refine the power of life around him. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was wholeheartedly cultivating and rushing to the mysterious ice palace with the others. A woman with a resentful look came to the heavenly cloud pavilion's mountain gate. At this moment, if Feng Mayun and the others were here, they would definitely recognize this woman. She was Nangong Yu's wife, Li Yinshan. He did not expect Li Yinshan to come to the heavenly cloud pavilion after dodging the calamity that day. It seemed like she wanted to seek help for revenge. So it's senior sister Yinshan. I'll bring you there now. At this moment, when Li Yinshan walked into the heavenly cloud pavilion, a handsome young man looked at her in surprise. Hearing this, Li Yinshan also revealed a surprised expression as she turned her head to look at the handsome young man. Junior brother Renqing, it's you. After recognizing the handsome young man, Li Yinshan became excited and asked the young man, Junior brother Renqing, where's Master now? Bring me to see him quickly. Senior sister Yinshan, what happened to you? Why do you want to see Master? Seeing Li Yinshan's expression, Yang Renqing showed a puzzled expression and asked her, it's those guys from the mysterious ice palace. Hearing Yang Renqing's question, Li Yinshan's face was filled with resentment and a murderous aura exuded from her body. She gritted her teeth and said, those guys from the mysterious ice palace colluded with Feng Mayun, the foreign elder of the sky, Feather Mountain. Not only did they kill my husband, Nangong Yu, but they also killed all the people of the sky, Feather Mountain. If I had not escaped quickly, I'm afraid I wouldn't be standing here today. After saying this, Li Yinshan paused and said with a bitter expression, this time, I came to the heavenly cloud pavilion to ask Master to avenge me by killing my enemies. Is there such a thing? The mysterious ice palace is really bold. After hearing Li Yinshan's words, Yang Renqing's face became gloomy. He said to Li Yinshan in a deep voice, Senior sister Yinshan, don't be too sad. This matter won't end here. Master will avenge you. Now, I'll bring you to see Master. After comforting Li Yinshan, Yang Renqing no longer hesitated and brought Li Yinshan to see the pavilion master of the heavenly cloud pavilion. Thank you, junior brother Renqing. If I can avenge my enemies, I'll thank you greatly in the future. Hearing Yang Renqing's words, Li Yinshan showed a grateful expression and promised Yang Renqing, Senior sister Yinshan, you're too polite. You don't have to be so formal with me. In response to Li Yinshan's words of gratitude, Yang Renqing smiled faintly and waved his hand. Mo Qingyun took Li Yinshan's words to heart. Chapter 795. At this moment, in the small courtyard, a white-haired old man sat on a stone bench, holding an ancient scroll in his hand. He was reading it with all his heart. This white-haired old man was the master of the heavenly cloud pavilion, Yang Taiyan. Disciple Yang Renqing greets Master. Disciple Li Yinshan greets Master. Seeing Yang Taiyan in the small courtyard, Li Yinshan and Li Qingshan bowed to him with a respectful look on their faces. Yinshan, Renqing, come in and have a seat. Yang Taiyan nodded with a smile when he saw them at the entrance of the small courtyard. He invited them into the courtyard and sat down. After a short while, Li Yinshan and Yang Renqing sat down beside Yang Taiyan. Yang Taiyan asked Li Yinshan curiously after the two of them sat down. Yinshan, you haven't been to the heavenly cloud pavilion for several decades. Could it be that you've encountered some trouble for coming to me all of a sudden? With his sharp eyes, Yang Taiyan could naturally detect something unusual from Li Yunshan's expression. Master, please uphold justice for me. Li Yunshan immediately knelt down in front of Yang Taiyan and cried with a pleading expression. The Dark Ice Palace has gone too far. They colluded with Feng Mayun, a foreign dignitary of the sky, Feather Mountain, to kill my husband, child, and clansmen. Master, please avenge me. Oh, is that so? Yang Taiyan's expression changed slightly when he heard Li Yunshan's words. He gradually became indifferent and said, The Dark Ice Palace is really bold. A mere upper palace dares to touch the family of my disciple. It seems that the 3 upper palaces of Ajin province should be changed. Li Yunshan and Yang Rinqing's expressions changed at once when they heard Yang Taiyan's words. A sense of awe appeared in their eyes. In their opinion, Yang Taiyan's simple words could decide the fate of a super sect. Then, they looked expectant as they waited for Yang Taiyan to give the order. Under their expectant gazes, Yang Taiyan said after a moment of silence, Rinqing, go to the Aquamarine Palace with Yunshan. Tell them that I've approved their request. Yes, master. Yang Rinqing nodded with a solemn expression when he heard Yang Taiyan's order. Thank you, master. Seeing Yang Taiyan's actions, Li Yunshan was moved and quickly expressed her gratitude to him. Perhaps because he was considering the strength of the mysterious ice palace, Yang Taiyan muttered to himself for a moment before instructing Yang Rinqing. Rinqing, the mysterious ice palace must be quite powerful since they were able to destroy the sky, Feather Mountain. To ensure that nothing goes wrong, go and find Pang Wei to accompany you. Yes. Yang Rinqing immediately nodded in response to Yang Taiyan's instructions. Next, Yang Taiyan explained a few more things to Yang Rinqing and Li Qiye before allowing them to leave his small courtyard. After leaving Yang Taiyan's small courtyard, Li Yunshan put on a solemn expression and said worriedly, Junior brother Rinqing, the Dark Ice Palace is not weak. Furthermore, they have the help of Feng Mayun, who is at the peak of the divine power stage. Even if we join forces with the Aquamarine Palace, we may not be able to defeat them, right? Senior sister Yunshan, there's no need to worry. With senior brother Pang Wei, nothing will go wrong. Yang Rinqing waved his hand with a faint smile in response to Li Yunshan's worried words and said confidently, 5 years ago, senior brother Pang Wei's cultivation had successfully broken through to the late stage of the 5th level of the divine power stage. Someone at the peak of the 4th level of the divine power stage is nothing to worry about. Senior brother Pang Wei's cultivation has already broken through to the late stage of the 5th level of the divine power stage. Hearing Yang Rinqing's words, Li Yunshan immediately revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. The worry on her face faded significantly. She said in pleasant surprise, Since that is the case, this time I will definitely tear the people from the profound ice palace into pieces. Subsequently, Yang Rinqing and Li Qiye went to find Pang Wei and joined forces with the Aquamarine Palace to destroy the mysterious ice palace. A few days later, an explosive piece of news quickly spread throughout the Jin province. Have you heard? The mysterious ice palace has been destroyed. I know it was the Aquamarine Palace who did it. I didn't expect the Aquamarine Palace to be so powerful. What you see is just the surface. The real reason behind the destruction of the mysterious ice palace was the Cloud Pavilion. That's right. I heard that the Cloud Pavilion Master's disciple was among the people who destroyed the mysterious ice palace. No wonder the mysterious ice palace was destroyed. So it was the Cloud Pavilion behind the scenes. In an instant, the news of the destruction of the mysterious ice palace spread like wildfire among the various sects in Jin province. At this moment, in the mysterious ice palace, Junior sister Yunshan, the people in the mysterious ice palace are all Heaven Star border cultivators. There isn't a single divine power stage cultivator. Could it be that Feng Mayun and the others escaped in advance? In the profound ice palace's conference hall, a stout middle-aged man asked doubtfully. This man was Pang Wei, who was at the late stage of the 5th level of the divine power stage. Brother Pang's words are very likely. I didn't expect Ling Mei and the others to be so cunning. After Pang Wei spoke, an old man with a goatee to the side revealed an expression of hatred as he spoke these words of unwillingness. This old man with a goatee was the palace master of the Aquamarine Palace, Tung Ziyu. In his opinion, with the help of the Cloud Pavilion, they could finally destroy the mysterious Ice Palace in one fell swoop. He didn't expect Ling Mei and the others to escape. It was really a pity. Everyone, don't worry. Perhaps Ling Mei and the others just left because they had something to do. They will be back soon. At this moment, Yang Renqing had a guessing expression on his face as he made a guess. We can't rule out this possibility. If that's the case, let's stay in the mysterious Ice Palace for a few more days. Hearing Yang Renqing's words, Pang Wei and the others nodded and agreed with Yang Renqing's guess. At this moment, Mo Qingyun and the others, who were hurrying along, didn't know anything about the destruction of the mysterious Ice Palace. At the same time, they didn't know that a hidden ambush and danger was approaching them step by step. In the blink of an eye, another few days had passed. Young Lord, we've arrived at the mysterious Ice Palace. At this moment, Savage Beast sent a spiritual message into Mo Qingyun's mind. We've arrived. Hearing Savage Beast's words in his mind, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He revealed a surprised expression and sighed inwardly. If I had 3 more days, my power of life would have reached the complete realm. What a pity. However, it doesn't matter. I'll enter the mysterious Ice Palace and cultivate for a few more days. My power of life will also reach the complete realm. Mo Qingyun sighed inwardly. He stopped thinking about it and left the martial spirit world. Let's go in. Following that, Mo Qingyun appeared in front of everyone. After instructing them, he walked into the mysterious Ice Palace. At this moment, what surprised Mo Qingyun was that when he walked into the mysterious Ice Palace's mountain gate, a terrifying aura suddenly appeared. Suddenly, a terrifying aura appeared and approached them at an extremely fast speed, crushing their bodies. They had been ambushed. Chapter 796. Ling Mao, Ling Rao, we have been waiting for you for a long time. After the shocking auras appeared, a cold voice entered the ears of Mo Qingyun and the rest. Immediately after, several figures appeared in front of Mo Qingyun, emitting a cold aura. Seeing the appearance of these people, Mo Qingyun immediately frowned. He said to Mo Hong Tian and the rest, "Grandfather, I'm afraid there will be a big battle soon. Let me send you to He Xian Hall first." Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Hong Tian and the rest did not hesitate and immediately nodded at Mo Qingyun. They knew in their hearts that in this situation, they would only be a burden if they stayed. After instructing Mo Hong Tian and the rest, Mo Qingyun did not delay and immediately sent them to He Xian Hall. After a while, Mo Qingyun relaxed when he saw Mo Hong Tian and the rest were sent to He Xian Hall. After Mo Hong Tian and the rest entered He Xian Hall, he no longer had any worries and could fight with Tung Ziyu and the rest. Tung Ziyu, it's you. While Mo Qingyun was relaxed, Ling Mao's expression was gloomy as he glared angrily at the old man with a goatee. The Aquamarine Palace had always coveted the mysterious Ice Palace's position. As a result, the two sects naturally had conflicts. As a result, some animosity and conflict arose between the mysterious Ice Palace and the Aquamarine Palace. At this moment, when Ling Mao saw Tong Ziyu leading people to invade the mysterious Ice Palace, he was undoubtedly enraged. Ling Mao, the mysterious Ice Palace is quite bold to go against the heavenly Cloud Pavilion. You must be tired of living. Looking at the one-armed Ling Mao, Tong Ziyu's expression was gloomy as he sneered. The Cloud Pavilion Master ordered us to annihilate the mysterious Ice Palace. If you know what's good for you, you'd better obediently wait for death. Ling Mao, who is this person? Looking at the arrogant Tong Ziyu, Mo Qingyun revealed a puzzled expression and asked Ling Mao who was beside him. From Tong Ziyu's words, Mo Qingyun could clearly determine that he was not a member of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Since he was not a member of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion, it could only be said that he was courting death by participating in the dispute between the Profound Ice Palace and the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Young Lord, this person is the Palace Lord of the Aquamarine Palace, Tung Ziyu. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Ling Kuang revealed a respectful expression and replied to Mo Qingyun, "The Aquamarine Palace is slightly weaker than our Profound Ice Palace, but they've always coveted our position as one of the 3 supreme palaces. Therefore, they often come to provoke our Profound Ice Palace. So that's how it is." After hearing Ling Mao's explanation, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding. He faintly smiled at Tung Ziyu and the others and said, 1 late-stage 5th-level divine ability and 4 4th-level divine ability. In that case, the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion really thinks highly of us to actually send such a powerful lineup. Young Lord, at this moment, while Mo Qingyun was speaking, Tung Ziyu and the others revealed curious expressions. They turned to look at Mo Qingyun and asked, "Kid, who are you? Are you deaf? Didn't you hear Ling Mao call me young lord?" In response to Tung Ziyu's question, Mo Qingyun glanced at him in disdain and mocked him. After ridiculing Tung Ziyu, Mo Qingyun turned to look at Qi Lian and asked, "Qi Lian, if you refine these people, will your cultivation break through to the 5th-level divine ability?" Young Lord, if you let this old servant refine these people, I have the confidence to break through to the late-stage 5th-level divine ability. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian licked his lips and said excitedly, "All right, if that's the case, I'll take down these people for you." After hearing Qi Lian's words, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately instructed the people around him, "Everyone, don't just stand there. Immediately kill them. Senior He Xian, I'll leave the person with the 5th-level divine ability to you." After instructing everyone, Mo Qingyun summoned He Xian and let him deal with Pang Wei. "All right." He Xian nodded in response. His body moved as he charged towards Pang Wei at an extremely fast speed. While Mo Qingyun was instructing He Xian, Qi Lian and the others also made their moves and fought with Tung Ziyu and the others. Sealed door. Seeing that everyone had started fighting, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate in the slightest. He immediately used sealed door on Pang Wei. Then, a mini version of the light gate quickly condensed in Mo Qingyun's hand. As soon as the mini door of light was formed, Mo Qingyun decisively sent it flying towards Pang Wei at an extremely fast speed. Pang Wei was caught off guard and was directly struck by the sealed gate. Pucci. After being hit by the sealed door, Pang Wei's face turned pale and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Then, Pang Wei's aura began to weaken rapidly. In the blink of an eye, Pang Wei's aura fell to the mid-stage of the 4th-level divine ability. My cultivation, why is it like this? Realizing that his cultivation was weakening, Pang Wei's face was immediately filled with fear. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said incoherently, "What did you do to me?" He really did not expect that a Pill Palace realm brat that he had overlooked would have such terrifying means. This was really too strange. More importantly, He Xian, who was originally at the peak of the early stage of the 5th-level divine ability, was on par with him in terms of battle power. Now that his cultivation had fallen to the mid-stage of the 4th-level divine ability, how was he going to fight with He Xian? Sealed door. Mo Qingyun did not bother about Pang Wei's shocked words and started to use the sealed door on Yang Renqing and the rest. Then, Yang Renqing and the rest were hit by the sealed door one after another under Mo Qingyun's attack. Then, Tung Ziyu and the rest cultivation was sealed like Pang Wei. Seeing that their cultivations had been sealed, Tung Ziyu and the others revealed expressions of panic, and their faces became somewhat pale. Originally, their overall battle power was on par with Qi Lian and the rest. But now that their cultivation was sealed, the balance between the two sides was immediately broken. As the gap between the two sides widened, Tang Ziyu and the rest were killed in no time. Run! Seeing that the situation in front of them was not right, Tang Ziyu and the rest did not dare to stay and immediately thought of running away. However, just as they were about to run for their lives, numerous talismans with threatening auras bombarded them with extreme speed. Bang, bang, bang. The talisman's attack speed was too fast and too sudden. Before Tang Ziyu and the rest could react, they were hit forcefully. After being hit by Mo Qingyun's talismans, Tang Ziyu and the rest were immediately seriously injured. Their auras weakened and they became dispirited. Seeing that Tang Ziyu and the rest were seriously injured, Qi Lian revealed a cold expression and slowly walked towards them. You can't kill us. Otherwise, the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion will not let you off. Looking at Qi Lian and the rest who were walking towards them, Yang Renqing and the rest's expressions twitched as they spoke in panic. If we don't kill you, you won't deal with us. Chapter 797. Yes, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, Qi Lian and the rest no longer hesitated and immediately killed Tang Ziyu and the rest. Boy, the Cloud Pavilion will not let you off if you kill us. You bastards from the Black Ice Palace are going against the Cloud Pavilion. Just wait for your sect to be destroyed. Old dog Ling Wang. Even if the Aquamarine Palace did not destroy the Black Ice Palace, the Black Ice Palace will not survive for long. Facing Qi Lian and the rest's ruthless attacks, Yang Renqing and the rest were filled with resentment and hatred as they cursed. Soon, Qi Lian and the rest attacked decisively, and Yang Renqing and the rest were killed. After killing Yang Renqing and the others, Qi Lian put away their corpses and prepared to find the time to refine them. Bang! Suddenly, a muffled sound was heard. He Xian's fist landed on Pang Wei's chest. Puff! Under He Xian's attack, Pang Wei immediately spat out a mouthful of blood and was sent flying. Bang! Then, Pang Wei's body fell from the sky and smashed a large hole in the ground. After sending Pang Wei flying with a punch, He Xian did not stop and continued to attack Pang Wei. Then, under He Xian's powerful attack, Pang Wei was killed in the large hole. After He Xian killed Pang Wei, he threw his corpse to Qi Lian and asked him to refine it. He Xian was still very clear about the matter of Qi Lian refining other people's bloodline power to increase his own cultivation. Let's go in. Seeing that Pang Wei and the rest were all killed, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and led the group into the Black Ice Palace. Ling Wang, Ling Rao, go and clear out the remaining members of the Aquamarine Palace. Then, gather at the meeting hall of the Black Ice Peak. After leading the group into the Black Ice Palace, Missouri Qingyun had a solemn expression as he instructed Ling Wang and the rest. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, the feud between the Black Ice Palace and the Aquamarine Palace had been going on for a long time. It was best for them to clear out the remaining members of the Aquamarine Palace. Yes, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ling Wang and the rest nodded and carried out the task with cold expressions. After instructing Wang and the rest, Mo Qingyun led the group into the meeting hall of the Black Ice Peak, did not stop. On the way to the meeting hall of the remaining members of the Aquamarine Palace. However, under the attacks of Mo Qingyun and the others, these Aquamarine Palace survivors were practically unable to put up any resistance and were killed. After a short while, Mo Qingyun and the rest arrived at the meeting hall of the Black Ice Palace. After entering the meeting hall of the Black Ice Palace, Missouri Qingyun moved Mo Hong Tian and the rest out of the He Xian Palace and asked them to find a place to sit. Then, the group silently waited for Ling Wang and the rest to finish off the remaining members of the Aquamarine Palace. After about 2 hours, Ling Wang and the rest returned with carefree smiles. It seemed that killing the remaining members of the Aquamarine Palace with their own hands had released the accumulated resentment in their hearts. In this way, it would be of great help to their cultivation in the future. Young lord, it has been settled. Ling Wang and the rest walked into the meeting hall and bowed respectfully to Mo Qingyun as they reported the outcome of matter. Find a place to sit down. I have something to announce. After hearing Ling Wang and the rest report, Mo Qingyan nodded and gestured for them to sit down. Yes. Hearing this, Ling Mao and the others immediately responded and found a place to sit in the main hall. A short while later, after everyone was seated, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and said in a deep voice, "During this period of time, the Black Ice Palace has experienced great changes and calamities. I plan to make some changes to the Black Ice Palace and change the Black Ice Palace's previous appearance." Everyone's eyes lit up when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. Anticipation filled their faces. In the past, due to the fact that there were too many peaks in the Black Ice Palace, there were conflicts between the peaks, causing the Black Ice Palace's strength to be scattered. Mo Qingyun glanced at everyone's expressions. After a short pause, he continued, "In order to avoid such a situation, I've decided to divide the Black Ice Palace into 4 halls. The Alchemy Hall, the Discipline Hall, the Interrogation Hall, and the Cultivation Hall." After hearing Mo Qingyun's arrangement, everyone immediately showed their approval and nodded in agreement with Mo Qingyun's idea. The young lord is wise. This way, the Black Ice Palace's previous hidden dangers will be perfectly resolved. I believe that under the young lord's wise leadership, our Black Ice Palace will rise rapidly. The young lord's words hit the nail on the head. Without these hidden dangers, our Black Ice Palace will definitely surpass the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. At this moment, everyone's faces were filled with admiration. They couldn't help but exclaim in admiration, "Everyone, please be quiet and let me finish." Looking at the whispering crowd, Mo Qingyun spread his hands and gestured for everyone to quiet down. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, everyone shut their mouths and looked at Mo Qingyun with respect. Next, I will announce the appointment of the hall masters of the few halls to everyone. Seeing that everyone had quieted down, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and continued to explain his idea. From now on, Master Du Luo will be the hall master of the Alchemy Hall. Master Zhao Qi and Master Su Yu will be the deputy hall masters to assist him in managing the Alchemy Hall. Qi Lian will be the hall master of the Disciplinary Hall. He will be in charge of the palace's rules, rewards, and punishments. Ling Mao and Ling Rao will be in charge of the Cultivation Hall. After appointing the 4 hall masters, Mo Qingyun showed a serious expression. He turned to look at everyone and asked, "Does anyone have any objections to my arrangement? Everything will be decided by the young lord. We have no objections." Hearing this, everyone's expression changed, and they responded one after another. Mo Qingyun had already expected this reaction from the crowd, so he didn't say anything else. "Young lord, now that the 4 hall masters have been appointed, when will you ascend to the position of Palace Master of the Mysterious Ice Palace?" At this moment, when Mo Qingyun finished speaking, Feng Maiyun frowned slightly and pondered. He said, "In addition, the Mysterious Ice Palace is no longer the same as before. With the young lord in charge, I think the Mysterious Ice Palace should change its name." Hearing Feng Maiyun's words, everyone in the hall nodded and began to discuss with each other. Hall Master Feng's suggestion is good. Now that the young lord is in charge of the Mysterious Ice Palace, it should change its name. I think the new name of the Mysterious Ice Palace should be based on the young lord's name. It should be changed to the Qing Yun Palace. Qing goes straight up. Qing Yun Palace is a good name. For a time, whispers entered Mo Qingyun's ears one after another. "Young lord, we all think that it's more appropriate to change the name of the Mysterious Ice Palace to the Qing Yun Palace." Chapter 798. Let's not discuss the name change of the Mysterious Ice Palace for the time being. Upon hearing their words, Mo Qingyun waved his hand indifferently. Then, with a serious expression, he said, "Next, I will announce the appointment of the Palace Master of the Mysterious Ice Palace." The appointment of the Palace Master? Doesn't the young lord intend to be the Palace Master himself? Yes, judging from a young lord's words, it seems that he intends to appoint someone else as the palace master? Who will the young lord appoint? Could it be Senior He Xian? It could also be Xian Jinzi. He is Mo Qingyun's ancestor on the Rolling Curtain Peak. He has a high chance. The Rolling Curtain Peak has accepted a good disciple. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone was surprised and looked at Xian Jinzi with envy. In their opinion, Xian Jinzi had the highest chance of being appointed as the palace master among all of them. At this moment, while everyone was whispering, Mo Qingyun turned to Ling Kai and said with a faint smile, "Uncle Ling, you have been the palace master of the mysterious ice palace for many years. Whether it is your reputation in the mysterious ice palace or your ability to manage the mysterious ice palace, you are the most suitable candidate. Therefore, I think it would be more appropriate for you to continue to be the palace master." "Qingyun, I'm afraid this is not a good idea." Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ling Kai's expression immediately changed. He said with a terrified expression, "The current hall masters of the mysterious ice palace are all seniors who are much more experienced than me. I'm afraid I don't have the ability to command them." When Ling Kai said this, he unconsciously glanced at Ling Mao and the others. A sense of guilt rose in his heart. Ling Mao were his ancestor, so there was no need to say more. As for Qi Lian and the others, they were either much more powerful than him in terms of cultivation or had extremely special identities. He cannot command them. "Uncle Ling, you don't have to worry about this." Seeing Ling Kai's reaction, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and waved his hand. He comforted him. "If there's really a big problem, you can ask Qi Lian to come to me. Normally, you can manage the palace as usual. Moreover, I need to hurry up and improve my cultivation, so I don't have time to manage the sect at all." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ling Kai's expression relaxed quite a bit. He nodded and said in a deep voice, "Managing a sect requires a lot of time and effort. The most important thing for you right now is to make the best use of your time to cultivate. You really aren't suited to be the palace master. If that's the case, I won't continue to decline." Seeing that the position of the palace master of the profound ice palace had returned to him after going through a round, Ling Kai could not help but sigh in his heart. Some things can't be forced. What's yours will always be yours. If it's not yours, it's useless no matter how hard you try. For example, if Jin Wushuang had competed with Han Yang for the position of the palace master of the mysterious ice palace, he might not have been able to take it back. But now, without any preparation, it had returned to his hands. This was truly a case of man proposes, but God disposes. "Okay." Mo Qingyun nodded in satisfaction when Ling Kai agreed to be the palace master. He said, "In addition, I plan to divide the mysterious ice palace into 2 halls. Ancestor Xian Jinzi will be the palace master of the inner hall, and Tang Zhan will be the palace master of the outer hall." After explaining the general situation, Mo Qingyun discussed some of the details with the others. Finally, after everyone's discussion, they decided to change the name of the mysterious ice palace to Qingyun Palace. Qingyun, since the mysterious ice palace is going to be changed to Qingyun Palace. Seeing that the mysterious ice palace was going to be changed to Qingyun Palace, Ling Kai's expression turned serious. He suggested to Mo Qingyun, "Next, we should send out invitations to the other sects in the Jin province to come and congratulate us." "Okay, I'll have to trouble Uncle Ling with this." Mo Qingyun nodded in agreement to Ling Kai's suggestion. He let Ling Kai make the arrangements himself. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, he should not doubt the person he used. Since he had appointed Ling Kai as the palace master, he should let him do whatever he wanted. Otherwise, if he had to do everything himself, what was the point of letting Ling Kai be the palace master? "Okay." Ling Kai nodded in agreement when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. Several hours later, Mo Qingyun and the others left the conference hall when they saw that all the matters had been discussed. Mo Qingyun did not enter his martial spirit world immediately after leaving the conference hall. Instead, he walked toward the inner peak of the mysterious ice peak. This was where Ling Kai and the others used to cultivate. It was also the place with the most abundant origin energy in the mysterious ice palace. When he arrived at the inner peak of the mysterious ice peak, Mo Qingyun took out the Xian Palace and left it in the inner peak. After that, Mo Qingyun told Qi Lian and the others how to enter the Xian Palace and let them enter the Xian Palace to cultivate. After doing all this, Mo Qingyun returned to his room and entered the martial spirit world in a flash. After entering the martial spirit world, Mo Qingyun did not delay and went straight to the everlasting forest to cultivate. Next, when Mo Qingyun and the others were cultivating, the invitation for the establishment of the Qingyun Palace began to be sent to various sections. Qingyun Palace, what kind of force is this? How can a small and unknown sect be worthy of inviting our Sea Tiger sect? I'm not going. The one who sent the invitation is a disciple of the mysterious Ice Palace. Could it be that this Qingyun Palace has some connection with the mysterious Ice Palace? This Qingyun Palace is quite mysterious. Looks like I have to go and take a look. After receiving the invitation from the Qingyun Palace, the various sects had different attitudes. Some are willing to go, some are unwilling. In the Heavenly Book Pavilion. I didn't expect that in just a few years, this little guy has grown to such an extent. Looking at the invitation sent by the disciples below, old man Tian Shu revealed a faint smile and looked at the young lady beside him. You have a good eye. In just a few years, your little lover has grown to such an extent. I'm afraid it won't be long before he surpasses this old man. Master, hearing this, Shaya acted shy and said to old man Tian Shu coquettishly, "Are we still going?" "Go, of course we're going." Old man of Heavenly Book smiled like an old man. He winked at Xiaoya and said, "Don't tell me you don't want to see your little lover." In the Burning Sky Palace. Qingyun Palace? Looking at the invitation in his hand, Duanmu Yanghe revealed a surprised expression. He then smiled faintly and said, "This Mo Qingyun is indeed extraordinary. In just a few years, he has grown to such an extent. His future is limitless." Palace Master, shall we go? Seeing Duanmu Yanghe's expression, a hunchbacked old man beside him frowned and asked Duanmu Yanghe for his opinion. "Go, of course we're going." Duanmu Yanghe smiled faintly and instructed the old man, "Uncle Nung, go and get one to prepare and follow me to Qingyun Palace." "Yes." The old man nodded and walked out of the room. Chapter 799. In the great meeting hall of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. The hall was filled with people, each of them wearing a gloomy expression and emitting a chilling aura. Not long ago, they had received an invitation. However, it was not from the Aquamarine Palace, but a disciple of the mysterious Ice Palace. They had a bad feeling when they realized that the Aquamarine Palace might have failed to annihilate the mysterious Ice Palace. They then went to the Soul Jade Slip Room in the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion to check the Soul Jade Slips of Yang Renqing and the other two. As expected, the Soul Jade Slips of Yang Renqing and the other two had all shattered. This meant that Yang Renqing and the other two were dead. Senior brother Ling Tong, junior brother Yang, junior brother Pang, and junior sister Li are dead. Are we just going to let it go like this? In the hall, a young man with snake scales on his face said unwillingly. He was Yang Taiyan's third disciple, Huijiao, who was half human and half dragon. It was said that he was the offspring of a human and a dragon. No, we can't just let it go like this. Ling Tong showed a cold expression when he heard Huijiao's words. He shook his head and said, "However, Master is now trying to break through to the 7th level of the Divine Power Realm. Should we wait until Master comes out of seclusion to discuss this?" Ling Tong was Yang Taiyan's first disciple and the current deputy pavilion master of the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. He had the cultivation of the early stage of the 6th level of the Divine Power Realm. In the entire Heavenly Cloud Pavilion, his strength was second only to Yang Taiyan, and his reputation was also the highest. First senior brother, with our strength, do we have to be afraid of the mysterious Ice Palace? As Ling Tong's words fell, a young man with a scar on his face said something that didn't seem to concern him. Obviously, he was dismissive of the mysterious Ice Palace's strength. This person was Yang Tian's fourth disciple, Ghost Scar. His cultivation was at the sixth level of the divine power realm, which was slightly stronger than Huijiao. In addition, he was proficient in saber techniques. In terms of battle strength, he was slightly stronger than Huijiao and was the third strongest person in the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. That's right. Senior Brother Ghost Scar is right. How strong can a small, mysterious ice palace be? Senior Brother Lingtong, if Master comes out of seclusion and finds out that Junior Brother Renqing was killed, but we did not avenge him, I'm afraid the consequences will be unimaginable. Junior Brother Renqing is Master's direct descendant. Master cares for him a lot. If Master knows that he was killed, he will definitely be furious. In an instant, the expressions of Huijiao and the others became serious, and they revealed worried expressions. Hearing everyone's words, a ray of light flashed across Lingtong's eyes. After thinking for a while, she said, "If that's the case, let's make a trip to Qingyun Palace and let the day of its construction be the day of its destruction. Senior Brother Lingtong, I will accompany you to wash Qingyun Palace with blood. I want to go too. I want to let people know the consequences of offending my Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Let's go together. We'll kill that Qingyun and his entire family, so that they'll never be able to rise again." For a moment, Ghost Scar and the others were filled with righteous indignation and volunteered to wipe out the Qingyun Palace. Junior brothers, everyone calm down and listen to what I have to say. Seeing everyone's reaction, Lingtong showed a satisfied expression and waved his hand to everyone, indicating for them to be quiet. As the eldest senior brother and the second master of Heavenly Cloud Pavilion, Lingtong's words still carried a lot of weight. After hearing this, everyone shut their mouths and waited for Lingtong's next instructions. We can't go all out this time to go to Qingyun Palace. We have to leave a few people to guard Heavenly Cloud Pavilion. Seeing that everyone was silent, Lingtong expressed her thoughts and said, "Junior Brother Chu Yang is resourceful and calm. Junior Brother Huijiao has the demeanor of a general. I think it's more appropriate for the two of you to stay and guard the sect. We'll follow eldest senior brother's arrangement." Hearing Lingtong's arrangement, Chu Yang and Huijiao showed respect and quickly nodded in agreement. Seeing Chu Yang and Huijiao's actions, Lingtong nodded with satisfaction and said, "In that case, let's discuss the specific matters of how to deal with Qingyun Palace." Then, Lingtong and the others started to discuss how to deal with Qingyun Palace. Junior Brother Ghost Scar, you and Junior Sister Renqian go to Demon Flame Palace and discuss with them about joining forces. After everyone discussed, Lingtong reminded Ghost Scar to be sure and said, "Aquamarine Palace is a force that relies on Demon Flame Palace. If they know that Aquamarine Palace is destroyed, they won't let it go. With their help, annihilating Qingyun Palace will be foolproof." Eldest senior brother is wise. Hearing Lingtong's arrangement, Ghost Scar and the others showed admiration and said flattering words. "Okay, since this is the case, let's go now. Don't let the people of Qingyun Palace wait for too long." Seeing that everything was arranged properly, Lingtong didn't want to delay any longer. She led everyone out of the hall and said to Ghost Scar and Huijiao, "In that case, Junior Brother Ghost Scar and a Junior Sister Renqian will meet at Qingyun Palace." "Yes, eldest senior brother." Ghost Scar and Huijiao nodded and showed a knowing expression to Lingtong. Then, Lingtong and the others split into two groups and carried out the plan to annihilate Qingyun Palace. In Qingyun Palace, Missouri Qingyun and the others didn't know what Lingtong and the others were doing. At this moment, they were all immersed in cultivation, hoping to increase their cultivation as fast as possible. After all, with a terrifying enemy like Cloud Pavilion, it was impossible to not increase their cultivation as fast as possible. Martial Spirit World, Longevity Road. At this moment, all the plants within 100 meters of Mo Qingyun's body were growing rapidly, presenting a scene of exuberant vitality. The power of life has reached perfection. Sensing his own power of life, Mo Qingyun opened his eyes in pleasant surprise. He became a little excited. The power of life had entered perfection. Next, he could condense the Heaven Star picture to break through to the Heaven Star realm. After thinking about it, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately started to condense the Heaven Star picture. Then, the 9 powers of gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder, life, and death were released from Mo Qingyun's body. As soon as the 9 powers appeared, they turned into 9 different colored lights and flew toward Mo Qingyun. Light Gate Martial Soul, appear. Red Flame Dragon Martial Soul, appear. After releasing the 9 lights, Mo Qingyun didn't delay and immediately summoned his martial soul. Fuse. Then, Mo Qingyun controlled the 2 martial souls and fused them with the 9 powers. However, what happened next surprised Mo Qingyun. The Light Gate Martial Soul couldn't fuse with the 9 powers. Mo Qingyun felt that the Light Gate Martial Soul was too strong and the 9 powers couldn't bear it. How could this be? Upon seeing this, Mo Qingyun revealed a puzzled expression, and a feeling of confusion arose in his heart. After thinking hard, Mo Qingyun stopped thinking about it and said, "Since the Light Gate Martial Soul can't be fused, I'll just fuse with the Red Flame Dragon Martial Soul." Chapter 800. Boom! Just as Mo Qingyun was about to condense the celestial star picture, a loud noise came from the Light Gate Martial Soul. Then, the Light Gate Martial Soul shone brightly, flashing a blinding light and emitting a terrifying power. As soon as the terrifying power appeared, it turned into a large silver hand and grabbed the Scarlet Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul. Roar! The Scarlet Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul immediately twisted its body and let out a deep dragon roar. However, the power of the large silver hand was too strong for the Scarlet Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul to resist, so it could not break free. The large silver hand grabbed the Scarlet Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul and released a terrifying power to refine the Scarlet Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul. Roar, roar, roar. Under the refining of the large silver hand, the Scarlet Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul kept twisting its body and letting out a high-pitched roar. However, it was in vain. It could not escape the control of the large silver hand. Then, under the refining of the large silver hand, the shape of the Scarlet Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul began to change gradually. In the end, under the refining of the large silver hand, the Scarlet Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul turned into a picture scroll with dragon patterns. As the dragon picture scroll was formed, the large silver hand controlled the 9 powers as if it was holding a brush and started to draw on the dragon picture scroll. At the same time, Mo Qingyun was shocked to find that he had lost control of the Scarlet Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul and the 9 powers. How could this be? Seeing this unforeseen event, Mo Qingyun's heart was immediately shocked. His heart couldn't help but hang in the air. Just now, when the Light Gate Martial Soul changed and could not merge with the 9 powers, he was already shocked. He did not expect the Light Gate Martial Soul to change again in the blink of an eye. It was too shocking. Condensing the Big Dipper portrait was a crucial step for a martial artist. How could there be unforeseen events happening again and again? At this moment, Mo Qingyun would be lying if he said he was not afraid. After all, if there was a problem with condensing the celestial star picture, it could affect his future cultivation. Fortunately, Mo Qingyun's state of mind was extremely strong and was not comparable to an ordinary person. After a short moment of panic, he regained his composure. After that, Mo Qingyun began to quietly observe the movements of the large silver hand. What made Mo Qingyun feel at ease was that the large silver hand only controlled the power and kept drawing on the dragon picture scroll. As the large silver hand continued to draw, various patterns gradually appeared on the dragon pattern painting. The large silver hand is helping me condense the celestial star picture scroll. This is the Heaven's Spirit Tomb. This is the Heavenly Pool Palace and the Heavenly Sword Sect. This is the Black Ice Palace, the Great Yin Dynasty, the 100 Countries battlefield. In an instant, Mo Qingyun found the places that he was familiar with in the creation picture. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun was even more shocked. He guessed in his heart, could it be that the world in the creation picture is exactly the same as the heavenly soul continent that I am in? In order to verify his guess, Mo Qingyun immediately began to look through the creation picture to find the places that he was familiar with. Huff! After an unknown period of time, Mo Qingyun gave up on continuing to verify and let out a deep breath. At this moment, he was certain that the background of the world in the creation picture was exactly the same as the heavenly soul continent. The only difference was that the people, demonic beasts, and other spiritual creatures in the creation picture were far weaker than those in the heavenly soul continent. It felt as if the world had just been formed and some living creatures had just been born and had not had time to cultivate. After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun continued to observe the creation picture to increase his understanding of it. Thump, thump, thump. However, as Mo Qingyun continued to search, his eyes twitched rapidly again. This feeling was as if there was something in the creation picture that was attracting him. In this creation picture, there are a total of 6 places that are attracting my attention. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ling Kai unconsciously nodded and agreed with Mo Qingyun's point of view. After a while, Mo Qingyun and Ling Kai walked and talked as they arrived at the conference hall of the Mystic Ice Peak. At this time, the conference hall was already filled with people. They were all people from various sects who came to congratulate them. Seeing Mo Qingyun and Ling Kai walk in, the expressions of the people from various sects changed, and they all looked at Mo Qingyun. After they arrived at the Qingyun Palace, they all heard the rumors about Mo Qingyun, and they were all shocked. He really didn't expect that the person who replaced the Mystic Ice Palace to establish the Qingyun Palace would be a junior in the Pill Palace realm. This kind of thing was just too unbelievable to them. This is Mo Qingyun? To have a Heaven Star border realm cultivation at such a young age, he is indeed a monstrous talent in cultivation. Heaven Star border realm? Didn't they say that Mo Qingyun's cultivation is only in the Pill Palace realm? Could it be? Hiss. In just a few days, Mo Qingyun's cultivation broke through to the Heaven Star border realm. He is indeed a monstrous talent. It is said that Mo Qingyun's origin is very mysterious. He seems to be from a big power in a big region. Also, I heard that Mo Qingyun and the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion have a feud. I wonder who will win in the end. I think that the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion has a higher chance of winning. After all, they have a deep foundation. That's right. A fierce dragon doesn't cross the river. No matter how monstrous Mo Qingyun is, he just came to Jin Province, and his foundation is not enough. No matter what, this Mo Qingyun is not someone we can offend. For a moment, the people from various sects were whispering to each other and discussing Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun did not pay attention to the crowd's performance. He walked into the main hall with an indifferent expression. Walking to the top of the main hall, Mo Qingyun found a seat and sat down. He let Ling Kai host the palace building ceremony. Thank you for coming to my Qingyun Palace and watching the palace building ceremony of my Qingyun Palace. Coming to the top of the main hall, Ling Kai showed a serious expression. He thanked the crowd and said, "Since all the guests are here, then the palace building ceremony will officially begin." Bang, bang, bang. At this moment, just as Ling Kai finished speaking, a loud noise came from outside the mountain gate of the Black Ice Palace. Hua! Following the loud noise, the main hall was in an uproar. Everyone looked at each other. What's going on? Is someone here to cause trouble and ruin the palace building ceremony of the Qingyun Palace? Do you guys think that the people from the Heavenly Cloud Pavilion are here? It's a possibility. The Heavenly Cloud Pavilion is really ruthless. They actually chose this day to attack the Qin Yin Palace.